the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics. From the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial. And our apparel partners are none other than 656. It's going to be your boy, Aggressive, joined by none other than the hot boy himself, Salty. He's going to be on my left. He's looking fly. He's looking chill. But what else is going to be chill is going to be today's matchup. Sadly, we are going to have only one game for you. I hope you all are prepped up. I hope you all are ready because this one is going to be a banger. We have not seen this for a long time. And we've been hoping for this for the longest time as well. Reckoning versus Team Valor. This is going to be one game where the old Weird X roster are going to be going up against the Kings of Consistency.
Exactly. Now, Reckoning Esports for them last season wasn't really the best, but just like you mentioned, this is not the previous Reckoning Esports. This is a newly formed Reckoning Esports that is brought in the lineup of Weird Esports, right? And that sort of brings in a new ray of hope, a silver lining for Reckoning Esports. And can they actually ride the tide and actually punish Team Valor for standing in their path to glory? That is certainly going to be a question. Just like you mentioned, Team Valor were very consistent. If I am not very mistaken, aggressive, I think Team Valor qualified for the playoffs for the last two
Yep.
seasons. And that basically means that they have what it takes to go into the top eight of the competition, right? They're a very good team with great consistency and great synergy. And also, they haven't gone through a plethora of changes like the other teams have done mid season between season 3 and season 4. So I feel they are in a better position to kind of win this, or probably in a better position to pose a better threat against Reckoning Esports. But you know what? This is again a new lineup, and anything can certainly happen for X Weird Esports, or rather Reckoning Esports right now.
Yeah, pretty much you could be looking at one of the teams being able to rise up to the top as we do go on down over towards the group standings, because you got to remember that Team Valor, they've already won out on one of their games, I do believe, before. So let's just wait and see. We're going to be hitting on down over onto that screen. If I remember correctly, yes, they have won out against FS. Them getting a 2-point lead for themselves is a very crucial one against Reckoning. Now, if Reckoning win this, Team Valor, they're not going to be happy, but they were still going to be fighting for that 1 point. 1 point at the bare minimum between these two teams will keep them in the running throughout this entire gauntlet stage. And you got to remember, when you're in the group stages, you always have to try and fight for the 1 point at the bare minimum. Then, for sure, you're going to be in the running for the top 4 spots. Maybe you're not going to be able to get number 1, but the top 4 is always going to be yours. So in this case, Team Valor going up against Reckoning. From the previous iterations when we were watching Weird X, we knew for a fact that Weird X were able to take down Team Valor. But it's a brand new year, brand new strategies, and a brand new update, mind you, Salty. We have
Yeah.
to consider the elephant in the room here. So this could be an interesting one. But for now, we're going to be heading on down over towards the team intro for Reckoning and see exactly what they are going to be cooking up for us. They're already the old squad that we know, but walk us right through it, man.
Look at this, look at this, look at these players. They look fly in their new jerseys. Deadly, Smoker, Rio, Bad Love, and Pixels. You know them, but they are playing under a new banner for a different team right now, and that's going to be Reckoning Esports, just like you mentioned. Of course, performances will be under question. They will be scrutinized for every little mistake that they make, because right now, Reckoning, they are a big team, right? I consider Reckoning to be one of the top teams. They are, I would say, a mid tier 1 and tier 2 team. So they have the potential to eventually make it. They're knocking on the doors, but it's up to these 5 men that we see on our screen to actually make that happen. Aggressive.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. The way that Weird X were able to completely steal away our hearts previously just goes to show how this roster has evolved over time. And now that they're under this new banner, they have a lot more to prove, and hopefully they're going to improve even further. Or are they going to be stagnant in the positions that they were before? This is going to be their first game, I do believe,
Yep.
under this new banner. So will they be able to uplift the name and possibly take Reckoning out of the ditch that they dug themselves into previously? Because you got to remember, the last season it wasn't really the best for them. That's why the roster had to go in for a complete overhaul, and I won't even blame the management for it, because there was needed for a change. But to completely drop a roster and pick up a new one, yeah, that's a little bit of a rough side. Reckoning, they have a lot more to prove. But moving on down the line, let's talk about the side of Team Valor. They had their own slew of changes, so let's just see how they're going to be playing everything out as we head on down over onto their team intro. Because you got to remember something, Salty. Team Valor as a squad, we have seen them pretty much fight through anything and everything. But what I do love is the recent addition of Hoax. When
Yeah.
Hawks played in that last game, you and me both, we were losing our minds.
Yep, absolutely. I feel this man has completely added a different dynamic to Team Valor. I feel like he has added that extra firepower that they always needed. Team Valor were always consistent, aggressive. Team Valor were always they had a decent strat book. I would say they weren't exactly very aggressive, but the addition of Hawks added that extra bit of firepower, which makes this team even more spicy and even more hot. And I really want to see them under display against this lineup of Reckoning Esports, because I wanted to establish one fact that Reckoning Esports, even though this is a completely new lineup, the 5 players, they know each other and they have good synergy between them. How can Team Valor stack up against an experienced 5-man roster, especially with new additions in the form of Hawks? That is definitely a question which I want to be answered, and I guess it's just a matter of time when that happens.
You just gotta wait and see how both of these teams are gonna be going up against one another, because Team Valor currently, they are the home favorites, I would say, primarily due to how they've already played. They've already proven themselves in the Gauntlet with the first initial game against FS. They were very consistent and they were able to take down their opposition with full on force. But that's the thing here. They still need to prove a lot more. And Reckoning on the other side, they're already in that spot where they know that they can beat Team Valor, but Team Valor, with their newest addition, has been spicing things up a lot more. It's a lot more problematic. There's going to be a lot more games that we really do need to see from the roster. But I digress. The maps are where the real fun is at. That's where the teams need to be going to showcase to us their mettle. So let's head on down over towards the map veto screen and see exactly where they're taking us. First initial map is going to be Haven. And now, Salty, Haven is a map that we see all the time. And it's pretty much one of the home favorites for every single team in South Asia. But the main
Hmm.
thing in general that we do need to consider is that this is also one of the better maps, or possibly the best map for X Weird X or Reckoning at this point. So Team Valor picking up Haven right off the get-go, pretty much the map where Weird X, sorry, I'm so used to saying Weird X, the map where Reckoning are so used to playing, this could be a pretty bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, the map feature that we have on our screens right now, we have Haven, we have Ascent, and we have Bind, right? Aggressive, I think that this can be a very typical scenario where a team wins their others' map picks, because I consider Team Valor to be extremely strong on the map of Ascent, right? You mentioned how Haven is sort of home ground for Reckoning as well. But then again, Reckoning was a different lineup. And if you consider Weird Esports, they sort of loved playing the map of Ascent. So considering that, Reckoning picking up Ascent doesn't really surprise me. But then Team Valor can also pick up the pace and also take the fight to Reckoning Esports on the map of Ascent. So that is a very dicey situation for me. On the other hand, we have Haven as a first map, right? A very large map. You've got 3 sites. You need a lot of tactical depth to actually execute those your set pieces, right? If you are on
Mm-hmm.
attack, you need to have a lot of synergy between your teammates. Yesterday, we saw a Haven map sort of die out because there wasn't really a lot happening, right? I mean, I believe it was it was Salty Sports versus Flame On, right? And one thing which I noticed was there was little to no utility usage. For sure, there were good trades happening, but when you don't really have that utility usage on point, when you cannot really synergize your utility with your maybe your teammates' utility and cannot combine set piece execute together, then it does not make sense, and that is when Haven becomes a problem for you because you can't venture into sites now.
Yep. Gotta remember that it's all about the Sentinels, and we are putting the highlights on the Sentinels the most. Now, you could be asking us, why do you think that the Sentinel players are so crucial on every other map, but in Haven a little bit more? Now, the thing with Haven is that it plays out similarly to Breeze, and you're gonna say that, okay, Breeze plays out similarly to Haven. It just goes back and forth in that sense, because the Sentinel players are where the main fun really lies. If your lurker, or let's say your site holder or your anchor, is not potent enough to hold down a site by himself, then you know that the real problem will start to arise. Because on Haven, the thing is, you can execute into a site, you can take the site control, but the retake potential is just really simple. You need one single Solvar, you need a Sky Flash, and then you can just bum rush into a site. But how do you circumvent that? By creating some pressure on towards the back end of a lurk. Now, we have seen in multiple different occasions that Hoax and now Deadly 10 are going to be the two players that we're always going to be highlighting. Deadly, he loves to play that Cypher in multiple different occasions, other than the map of Bind where he does pick up the Raze. Now, with a player like him and Hoax constantly battling each other to try and hold off a flank, hold off a lurk, or even go in for lurks of their own, we know that Haven is going to be a tough affair for both of these teams because both of these Sentinel players are going to be at each other's necks, and the team, they need to play around them instead of them playing around the team. Because at this stage, Haven, it requires them to take some initiative, and I do believe the initiative will be taken by the Sentinels themselves.
Exactly. Now, with that being said, we got to come down to the fact that who has an upper hand. And at this point, I sort of feel that I would probably put Valor ahead of Reckoning and the map of Haven because of the fact that they've picked up this map, right? I think they know what they're doing, and I think they have a proper strat book for themselves. Also, the fact that they're starting on attack should put them in an advantage position right from the get-go on paper. Now, we have seen Haven become attacking sided or defending sided. It's sort of like a pendulum, and it just depends on the teams who are playing it, who are playing this map. But at the end of the day, you've got to realize that you've got three sides, you've got multiple avenues of entry, and that on paper thins out the defense, right? You know exactly that there is going to be one player holding or at max two players holding. If you can bum rush, just like you mentioned, you got a recon dart and a sky flash, and you can potentially bum rush into a site without much trouble. You immediately create that numbers advantage. I feel like Valor could actually make use of that early advantage, get that momentum on board early on, and take that confidence to get the victory right off the get-go. That is when Ascent becomes very spicy, because now you've got a 1-0 lead, and you can also be very aggressive on the map of Ascent, and maybe, potentially, maybe go for a quick 2-0 sweep. But then again, just like you mentioned, I'm not gonna hold out. I'm not gonna think that I'm not gonna call out Reckoning
Yep.
Esports right off the get go. I don't think they. I don't think. I don't think they're far behind Team Valor at this point. I would just say that I feel like both of these teams are well matched in terms of skill levels, and they can pose an equal threat to each other, just like I mentioned before.
They can take each other on, and I'm really expecting three maps primarily because of one thing. The map of Pine got a flurry of changes. We got a lot of new additions on towards that A side. I really want to see how the pros are going to be playing, because you got to remember, today is when the update came out. No one had any time to go in for practice. We have
I had no
no
time.
idea. We have no idea what the map of Bind is gonna play like. There's probably a couple of new callouts that we're gonna completely screw up throughout this entire game. But what I am happy about is there are no breeze. If there was a breeze pickup, we know for a fact that we would be absolutely confused. A side had massive changes. B side executions are nearly impossible now. A side executions are impossible. The only thing that was untouched was the mid side line. We're gonna be seeing a lot of different games and a lot of different matches where both of these maps could just be the make it or break it for a lot of these teams, and whoever adapts it the quickest will be the ones to just go ahead of the pack. And that's what happens whenever we get a new update during these mid-season plays. The players don't really get a lot of break. They need to adapt. They need to learn of how they can try and take out their opposition. But for now, at least, both of these maps, these are tried into tested maps. No real compositional changes, no real strategy changes required. But Salty, what I am going to talk about is the fact that Haven will facilitate a breach as well as a sky. What are you expecting? Because in my eyes, I do believe both of these teams, they prefer the sky, but
Yeah.
Hoax from time to time has picked up the breach. And will he do the same on the map of Haven? That's the real question.
You see, I cast a couple of maps of Haven last day, and there was only one thread, a double initiator. On one hand, we
Yep.
had a Sova and a breach. On one hand, we had a Sova and a Sky.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
normal.
that combination always stays, right? I don't think there is a person. I think at this point, there comes personal preference, breach versus a Sky. What more do you prefer? You've got the flashes, you've got similar number of flashes. Only one flash is going to regenerate, that's the Sky's flash. And you've got the heal with the Sky, but then just imagine the retake potential on the breach is absolutely mammoth. Like, you
Yeah.
can aftershock, you can go for a rolling thunder if you have an ultimate for yourself. The fault line can prevent plants from growing down, so you can potentially use the breach for a lot of different situations. But then the sky also helps you a lot in terms of getting more information. If information gathering is your play, then maybe you can use a double initiator in the form of Sova, and sky you can try and slow down your executes. You can try and get more information from different sides and then decide which side you want to execute. Or if you're somebody who likes to just flash it, bro, let's just go, and that is when the breach just comes into play. He's just gonna scream let's go, and you can just basically bum rush into a side without any troubles whatsoever.
You say no troubles, and then there's gonna be Deadly Set on the other side, waiting with his rifle, and he's like, "Come at me, bro!" and just pops two people in the head as soon as they're walking in, fully concussed. And that's all he's gonna eat his words and be like, "Okay, sure." The Rolling Thunder is supposed to concuss you. It's not supposed to allow you to hit even more headshots. And in these type of scenarios, that's what really does happen. But that's why I prefer the Sky on multiple different occasions. Not only does the Sky give you that flash potential the same as the Breach, it also allows you to easily maneuver around corners and just fixate on one very specific angle that you really want to clear out. For example, if the Sova Recon Bolt doesn't clear out a single corner, then you can curve your Sky Flash around in such a way that it only affects that corner, catching out the player, probably blinding them, or even getting a little bit of info for your duelist before they go in for an entry. That's why Sky is one of my personal favorites, because it allows you to pinpoint target specific locations that you really want to hold on to. While with a Breach, you need to think of the grand scale. You can flash out the entire site through one very specific angle, and if you use both of your flashes, you're pretty much doing it on an assumption from your Sova. So the Sova needs to be able to communicate. He needs to be able to give you ample amounts of information for you to use your utility properly. With all of these different factors coming into play, we always need to consider the ease of use versus the communication factor. The Breach and Sova combination requires you to have perfect comms, while with the Sky and Sova, it's much more mellow. Let's say you get one call from the Sova, you get a general location, and that's pretty much it. The Sova just tells you, "Oh, Sky, the cubby corner is not cleared. The default box is not cleared. Can you use your flash to clear it?" But with the Breach, the Sova needs to give you pinpoint information of exactly the positions are for the enemies in multiple different occasions, so you can get a proper assumption of what you were doing. So with that, I'm expecting the side of Reckoning to go in for a very mellow composition with the Sky and the Sova, while on Team Valor, I do expect a Breach. That's on my eye cards anyways, but let's just see.
Yeah, and also I've sort of perfected the art of completely statuing myself on camera. I did this yesterday as well. It's sort of like it's a skill. It's a skill. It's not a technical glitch, ladies and gentlemen. It's a skill. But
Yeah.
I know you're waiting for the game to begin. I know you're here for the game. It's just that the players take a little time. It's morning time, aggressive. Even I can sense that this guy
Everyone's
also
updating.
woke up. I can sense like this guy just woke up from sleep and he's like, all right, guys, I'm gonna cast right now. But yeah, I'm an early riser. But apart from me, I guess all the players and everybody else, they were probably sleeping and just arriving. And also the fact that there's an update as well, so all these players, they are also sort of updating the game. And to be honest, I'm really excited on how the new changes are going to play out, because
Wait,
I've
yeah.
never had I don't really have an idea of what the changes looks like, because I'm not updated with rumors and leaks channels on YouTube, so I probably have to see for myself in game.
Ares is
And this is
broken.
this is probably the first time I'm going to see the changes in bind, if there's a bind at all.
The Ares is just a broken weapon. Long live the Ares. I can't believe I'm saying this. As an Immortal 2, I'm saying that the Ares is the most broken gun in the game right now. I
Give the
don't know
weapon
if I
to me,
should
God.
discuss it.
Silvers.
I
Save
don't
the
know.
silvers. Save the silvers.
I have no clue if I should feel disgusted, if I should feel happy, or should I feel like Sinatra. I
Why?
think the thing with the Ares is that now that there is no wind up time for the bullets to come out, it shoots faster than a Phantom almost. It feels like I'm shooting a Phantom on a 700 credit weapon. Just explain to
Wait,
me.
700?
Yeah, the Ares is 700, 1700, 1700.
Yeah. Thank God. I,
1700.
I I was like, wait, it's
My bad.
cheaper than Sheriff now?
No. It's 1700 credits for an Ares, and the Spectre got a pretty big nerf as well. In long range fights, the Spectre is not going to be able to take long range engagements anymore. Close range gunfights are a lot more difficult as well. They have increased the amount you need to pull down and control your sprays in these close proximity fights. Run and gun is not as good because the Spectre will lose control really quickly. So they have tuned in a lot of the different factors here, but I'm really am expecting the Bulldog, the Guardian, and the Ares to have a massive rise. And the Ares could easily replace the Spectre in this case.
I'm kind of a little bummed about the Spectre situation, to be honest, because
Okay, bro.
I loved running and gunning. There's a player in this corner. All you gotta do is just hold mouse one and go W and just swing around the corner. And like sometimes I still remember there were games where I just swung so wide that I would even make David Beckham shy. Like, dude, like I was like swinging, dang, and I used to just run and gun those players. But yeah, that's probably not going to happen anymore. We'll find out more about this update as we actually play further games. But still waiting for the players, still waiting for their cameras, still waiting for these things. And yep, as soon as those are done, I guess we will get into the game.
You just gotta wait and see exactly how these players are gonna be playing. Sorry about all the waits, ladies and gentlemen. As Aldi said, it's gonna take a little bit of time. The players are getting prepped up and ready, and we're trying to set up their cams as well. So you're not gonna have any forms of problem there. But for now, at least, Salty, I think we have covered pretty much everything that we can for both of the maps in particular. But let's talk about Bind a little bit. Let's say it's a 1-1 scoreline. We head on down over towards the third map. I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what changes Bind had and why I'm really excited. So on A side, you remember the double crates that are on A main?
Yeah.
That got changed, and now there is a platform leading on top of it. So it's no longer a double box. So it's no longer a double wooden box. It's going to be a ramp type platform that's going to allow you to stand on top of it.
Okay,
That's a
interesting.
big change for entries. And
Hmm.
there's going to be another change that adds a small bench on A main. As an attacker, you can stand on that bench and you can take a peek. So it allows you to have height elevation changes as you're trying to take a swing on for A main, which is a massive change because you got to remember normally, whenever you swing out of A main, either you get popped in the head
Yeah.
immediately before you can even see anyone, or an
Hmm.
operator kills you simultaneously. Now that you have that elevation change, it's going to put a massive dent in the way that the attack defenders can hold such an angle, reducing ping advantages by a pretty massive margin. But from the other side, what else can we expect? Now, because of the new addition of that ramp, there's going to be a problem. Sentinels are no longer going to be able to hold one very specific site line. They need to place all of their utility inside of the site instead of placing it on the very entrance of these executions.
Yeah.
And now that people can actually stand on top of the double box, I did go into a quick game of mind. The fact is, when you stand on top of it, you can completely check out heaven as well. So if no one is holding heaven, if anyone peeks, you can pretty much not smoke heaven at all, and you could pop a person in the forehead just by standing there, which is a very powerful angle to hold if someone is holding your lurk.
Dude, this is insane. I
The
mean,
A side is
I'm
a lot more easier to execute. Like, we know for a fact that the bind executions on A is pretty much the hardest execution in the entire game.
yeah,
And
yeah.
now it's a lot more simpler. You have a lot more ways of entry.
Absolutely. I think Bind was more suited for B entrances. Initially, a lot of people liked the hookah as well as the B main pinch. But then now, if that's not happening, then A side you just mentioned has become a lot easier. I think we will see a lot of different
Yep.
different new executes coming in, and also a lot of different agents as well in that scenario, because I feel like there were certain agents who were used to specifically facilitate the bind A push, so that you've got certain flashes, you've got certain dashes as well. But now if they actually get that vantage point towards maybe heavens, or they can clear out those corners, that's a very big plus. You probably don't need those flashing agents. You can take that agent off and you can probably use it something with something better. You can probably add another sentinel into it, or you can probably do something else. It just depends.
Yeah. It all really does happen due to the simultaneous plays from both of these squads. But Bind is going to be a massive question mark on how both of these teams are going to be pushing it down forward. But other than that, Salty, do you know what I really want? I want this game to start. I want it to end really quickly as well. I'm sorry, teams, but I want it to end quickly primarily because I want to play Neon already. Please, for the love of God, I want to play that character. But the agent selection is gonna be ready. We're not gonna be waiting for any longer. We're gonna be jumping straight into that soon enough because the start bot is gonna get prepped. The teams are ready. Everyone's done and dusted, and it's all gonna happen soon enough. But for now, Salty, your thoughts on Neon? Give it to me.
I'm gonna be a neon main, guys. If
Yeah,
you
Neon bait out there.
every single player is gonna turn into a neon main. Doesn't matter if you're a controller, if you are a sentinel player. Neon is gonna be the name of the game for some time at least. Like, you know what? There was similar hype before an Asian came out. That was Yoru. Like, Yoru was hyped as anything else, but eventually it did not meet its fate. It did not meet its potential. But I hope that Neon does, and if it does, actually, people are going to be surprised. But ladies and gentlemen, we are in the agent selection screen, and just like you know it, Neon is not available for selection. Just for confirmation.
Yeah, that's the sad part. We all really want to watch the Neon get played, but
Wait, is Chamber available for confirmation, like selection? I'm not
yes,
really sure.
yes,
Okay, then.
Chamber is gonna be allowed in these cases, but Chamber is not really picked up that much because he hasn't really settled into the meta as well. But it's gonna take teams a little bit of time to get used to the Chamber, just like the KO situation. KO initially was not picked up at all. Like no one liked him. And now KO has been looking quite decent here on multiple different maps, and Reckoning, they could just be going in for that very specific KO.
Mm-hmm. So far, if we analyze what we have seen, we've got a Sova and a KO combination. On the other side, we've got a Sova and a Breach combination. The rest of the picks are very similar, very understandably. We've got JN on the Jet, Pasha Sahil on a controller, and Buster on the KJ. On the other side, Reckoning, that is ex-Weird Esports, they're sort of experimenting different things. It's very surprising that Bad Love is flirting us with a Yoru pick. He's hinting us something maybe. Now finally he has picked up the Jet. We've got the KO as well. KO, Sova, and a Jet, and Smoker is on a Cypher. So I like the fact that they have used a KO in this map. I feel like
It's not a bad pickup.
it's not a bad pickup, right? KO is very deadly, especially in maps like Split where there are like
And
narrow
then
passes.
is playing
But
it.
then you can also put the same scenario in Haven as well, because you have those entries, you have those sewers, you have those regions where there are very narrow passages, and that fragment your knives can actually be devastating in those situations, aren't they?
It's gonna be a pretty tough scenario in general, but I do believe with all of them being in the boot camp, well, not all of them, but most of them being in the boot camp. Oh wait, everyone's in the boot camp. I honestly thought, looking at the player camps, it just feels a little bit weird. They feel as though to be disjointed a little bit. Team Valor, though, on the other side, they have the team spirit from back at home. They're gonna be comfortable. They're gonna be looking quite good here, regardless. But for now, at least, on the 0-0 scoreline, as the match is gonna start out down through Salty, it's the map of Haven, and on Haven, looking at the comps, I do believe that I'm leaning more towards the side of the KO over the Breach, just if Deadly 10 is able to use a 0 point properly enough.
Depends way too much. Like Breach can also be very useful. You've seen the Breach sort of change the games in the past just because of his utility usage. I feel like this is going to be a massive warfare between the KO and a Breach, and I'm just waiting for this game to start. I would love to see some sort of innovative plays from the Cypher. Maybe try and go for a backstab, try and go for multiple try and go for different types of plays. That's what I want to say right now. To kick things off, we've got Team Valor, who is on attack, right? They have that spread out towards that A corridor as well. They've got that spread towards towards that garage area as well. They don't essentially want to progress towards C, so that is interesting. You saw that the shock dart gave a massive amount of damage against JN, which eventually will discourage them from moving towards the A side. But they're trying to make their way into B. Are they? They fell back once again, and now they're trying to go into the A side. Rio once again will shoot another shock dart, which can potentially meet JN and his meter. Nah, not yet.
Just gonna wait it down through. No real executions just yet. A little bit of information being given away, but it's nothing much that the attackers don't know about. But Valor, they wasted a pretty nifty amount of utility on one very specific sideline, and they're gonna give it up immediate. And I like that. They're going in for a full rotation down towards the seaside, but the seaside also has its own fair share of dangers that they need to worry about. The execution's gonna come on down in. It is gonna be the fly through from JN. They're looking for full control, but the defenders, they're gonna be playing it quite smart. But no, it's not gonna work out. Smoke is gonna go for one. Smoke is gonna go for two. Sending it down over to a 3 versus 3 situation. Beautifully done from Smoke to hold down the side.
Oh no, bad luck.
But bad luck. It could just work out for him.
He's gonna be the difference maker. Gets one. Will he get the second one? He dashes away to safety. But this man can actually cause a difference. 3v2 so far. Pasha style trying to be aggressive. He has 100 HP to work with. JN at 22 HP gets deadly 10. And now there's only one guy, and that's gonna be Rio. He's got a recon to work with as well. He's gonna spot the checkpoint. He's gonna take him out as well. Can he go for the defuse? That's a question. Has got the recon done. There is a gravity well positioned as well. Pasha Sahil can just play with his opposition so far. He's gonna swing wide with the pistol and tap the head. Gets the first round. Team Valor. What a round it was.
It was a smooth one. You gotta have to worry about nothing there, but oh my god, Smoke, he nearly just pulled off the impossible. The way that guy was able to take that fight was slow, it was methodical, it was simultaneous, and then with the immediate pickup, they were nearly able to take this round away because of the rush that Team Valor went for. It was just a really difficult one.
Exactly, and the only reason why Smoker was so successful because he used the opposition smokes to his advantage. He was like, all right, Astra, you're gonna put smoke in my face. I'm gonna be inside the smokes and I'm gonna take 2 players down. And the opposition didn't really expect that. To happen.
Yeah, that moment of surprise really did allow them to get a couple of the kills, but regardless, the round did not go in their favor at all. And because of this, it's gonna get a lot more difficult for them to try and switch everything out here in this round, and it is gonna be Deadly 10 trying to go in for a little bit of a kill with the classic right click. It just doesn't reign supreme here now, does it? The players though, they're gonna feel the changes from the Spectre quite a little bit, because now the Spectre is a lot more inaccurate, but in the hands of Buster, sorry, I think it's gonna be completely fine.
Yeah, it is completely fine. Rio though right clicks Jane to Oblivion. Ding's bullet takes him down as well. This is nice stuff. 2v2 so far, and the Astra from the defending team is quite low on HP. Bad Luck is going to swing wide, but Pasha Sahil puts 2 down, and that's the round secured. They lost a lot of guns in the process. Spectres were dropped, Marshals were dropped, but that's fine because at the end of it all, they got the round for themselves. They don't really have a healthy bonus round for themselves because they eventually have to reinvest, but that's fine. I guess up against Vandals and Phantoms, you've got a better chance of winning. Economy-wise, it's not the best of decisions, but it's okay.
I do believe they're still going to be going in for a pseudo bonus here. 3 of their members are above the 3,000 credit margin, sorry. And only 2 more players need to invest a little bit in their buys, but they're still going to have their teammates to drop for them in the following roundups. So no harm, no foul. They're just going to be able to wait, but Team Valor, they're going for a full fast scale rush down over towards the seaside. And JN should be able to get a free kill, but JN, he drops it like drops the ball massively there. And the Guardian it's just too good to be true. The seaside execution just falls apart in a couple of seconds. And oh my god, the Guardian. It's just
what is this Guardian now? I have no idea what that weapon is right now. He was like, alright, he doesn't even need to scope in. It's so accurate even without ADS.
The thing with the Guardian is that it got buffed in the sense your recovery time is now a lot less than before. So you can pretty much spam the weapon and still be able to get a lot of kills with it while you're scoped in. The Guardian, if he's scoped in, there was no penalty. Like, it did not reduce the fire rate anymore. So you can spam with the Guardian even when scoped in and go in for body shots. The Guardian is that strong of a weapon now.
Well,
that's changed. There were a lot of different changes, man. The Bulldog is really good as well. If anyone picks up a Bulldog, it will feel as though you're playing with a frenzy. That's how fast the fire rate is.
Oh my god, Fury takes 1 down. Bullet, I'm sorry, but there is nothing you can do about it. Even JN is down to 70 HP, but Buster Sneaky little bugger has actually moved up garage. The spike is also following him in close pursuit. You can see that Deadly 10 is the only player who's stationed in the seaside, has got much security.
Oh, no.
And the flash comes in, the 9-point is going to help him. Buster survives the initial one, but Smoker takes him out. 4v3. And yes, exactly just like you mentioned, we can see some bulldog action. Passer side, quite low on HP, needs to hold his horses and probably use his stars for better usage. But Pixels is in position as well.
Oh, no. Oh, he still gets it! Pasha, poor boy, didn't even expect it. Got caught out there immediate. It's gonna be Hope's turn to maybe just go in for a little bit of a tear. But Smoke and Bad Luck from the sidelines. They just have better control. They have the better angles to hold. It's a 2-2 and a heartbreaking loss, I have to say, for Team Valor. They had the guns. They pretty much had everything under the bag, but the control just wasn't there.
Yeah. But I absolutely love this game so far. 2-2, and both the teams are having a blast in the server. And every single player, they have actually stepped up, right? And it's just a matter of time before we understand which team has sort of an upper advantage. We don't see any operator actions yet, right? One team that is going to be Team Valor is on an eco, of course. So it shouldn't really be a surprise if they don't win this round. But of course, they might get some casualties. Right at the get-go, we can see Buster falling down. Not really sure where that action happened. Outside B, I'm pretty sure about it. Shot darts come in. Smoker trying to push out. This can be a little aggressive, can be problematic for them as well. Because when you have better weaponry, aggressive, you want to stay put, right? You want to stay put in your angle, just hold them. And when they come in to fight you, this is exactly what happens. Shock that comes in. Bullet takes down Smoker. Takes revenge on what happened last game. It wasn't so what happened last round. It wasn't so what if, right, with the Hunter's Fury. But this time, this is not the case.
Ooh, that was a rough one, nearly. He died out there, but still, Rio and Bad Luck from the sides, they're going to be able to do so much damage. Bad Luck's going to be good for one more, but Jan shuts him down before he gets a little bit too much damage done. It's still a 2. He's
got a Vandal.
He got to worry about the other player coming in through the back, and Pixel's going to be the one to shut him down immediate. 3-2 on the scorecards already, ladies and gentlemen. And the side of Team Valor, they're dropping like flies, but I would say that this round was an eco round, so Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, this round certainly was an eco round, that's fine. But the way they executed it, I mean, especially Team Valor, it was pretty close, man. It was a 1v2 in an eco round. What more do you want? To try and dent the opposition's economy as much as possible, and they did that with success. Even the fact that JN was at 16 HP was the only problem, because otherwise he had a Vandal retrieved, and JN as a player, I'm pretty sure on every other day he would be able to pull off a clutch like that if he had proper HP and proper utility with him. But nonetheless, this time we see a recon dart invested and an outrun pretty early in the game. Rio wants to take early advantage, early information, spots one player down, probably knows this should be an A execute so far. But I love the fact that Team Valor, they're being very unpredictable. They're trying to change on the fly. Bad Love is here with the big bad sniper rifle aggressive. What do you think is going to happen?
Oh, no. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure JN's going to get absolutely screwed here if he tries to go in for the swing. But Bad Love's holding a really tight angle. It really does depend on JN taking a swing in the proper fashion, but... Oh my god!
What was that?
You should run.
Bad Love, you're an absolute animal! You gotta be careful of how you do these fights. Their family's back at home. You need to allow them to go in for a little bit of a retaliation play. But my, oh my, JN.
They're gonna get detailed on. Look at Pasha Sahil. Look at Pasha Sahil go. His Phantom is singing the songs of death. Bad Love has been taken down. This is a 3v4, but there's no possibility. Bullet actually takes Pixel down. Deadly 10 trades him off with Pasha Sahil. This is a 2v3 right now. But most importantly, there is no HP advantage. Bullet uses the Hunter's Fury, but not for longer. Smoke is going to come from behind. The backstab is firing. Deadly 10 fires out Bullet and his head, and they get the 4th round for themselves. What a closely contested affair this is turning out to be.
They're gonna be able to pick up the operator as well. They have all of the angles saved for themselves. I do believe that this is gonna allow Smoker to get his ultimate a lot more faster. So smart changes when it came down to them allowing the spike defuse to go in the hands of Smoker, because that neural theft could just be the make it or break it for them in the couple of following rounds, because this is gonna be a pseudo buy round from the side of Team Valor. They still have enough money with one of their members not being able to go in for buys, but that's the problem. JN's going to be giving his gun away to Hoax, and he's going to be playing purely for his own ultimate. So from here on, the thing is, Salty, the way that Team Valor are trying to take these executions, they're just being so one-dimensional with their approach that the Breach is not able to do much. And with the utility factor that the side of Reckoning already have, it's just causing even more problems. This KO is just giving so much value towards Reckoning.
Exactly. I mean, we haven't seen the Breach get so much value yet. Flashes come out. I'm pretty sure the KJ would be blind as hell, but Buster, even with the blinded eye, he was able to spray down Deadly 10 with a headshot. What a shot it was. What a moment. 4, or rather 3v5 so far. Bullet gets another one for himself. Takes down Rio. You've seen a lot of contested so far in mid. Trade-offs happening left and right. 2v4 so far. We have gotten ultimate invested towards that A side. The Blade Storms can actually do some damage, but Smoker all by himself trying to hold down their side. He spots down Bullet, takes him down. The Recon isn't gonna give his position away as of yet. There is a Rolling Thunder available, but JN has found the A side completely open. He's going to relay that information, and they're going to know that this should be a C stack. All you have to do is rotate towards A and plant the spike. I love what they're trying to do, but had the Astra gone for a backstab, this attack would have been much more dangerous aggressive.
Quite to be difficult for them, but get Bad Love. His position is prime. Maybe he gets this kill, but not against JN. Better crosshair placement. He did pick himself up an operator. He's looking for that one more kill. Smoker with a beautiful swing. He doesn't make any from noise, but JN! My oh my. It's just so crispy with it. He's gonna be able to answer back immediately for all the damage Bad Love did. And now that he has the operator in his own hands, this round could just be going a little bit more differently than you would expect. Only if JN is able to win this operator battle. And I do believe that the battle is going to be happening over towards the A side instead of mid.
Let's find out. They've got the Sova in position already. He's going to put out a recon dart, and as soon as that sonar detects some presence, they're going to know that there is an operator.
Someone's going to die here.
Maybe. Recon comes in. One has been destroyed. Jane versus Bad Love. Jane survives. Bad Love, not so much. Pixel so strays him back. Gets Buster. So there is no KG action, there is no Sentinel, there's nobody you can actually check for their backstabs right now. And the defensive team, they can actually use it to perfection. What can Team Reckoning do from this point? Because Team Valor, they haven't yet met any such advancements in real estate so far. They don't really have that map control. They've got the A side completely open by trying to lure all these players towards garage and mid. But so far, so forth, the operator is still standing, and Rio this time has taken down Hoax. Another initiator battle that he has won against the Breach so far. Look at this. Proper positioning, proper timing, but unfortunately the owl drone is going to push him away, but the shock darts are here.
Oh, wait a second. JN! Oh, you're an absolute madman. Once again, he just takes a swing, he takes a fight, and uses the shorty to absolutely gun down Rio. That's going to be another one. The A side is completely empty, but it's still a 3 versus 3 situation with JN possibly getting another kill through his operator. No flashes yet from Deadly. But Smoker, he needs to be the one to jump down and maybe do a little bit of noise. But JN, he's gonna make the damage happen. He's gonna bring in the hurt as much as he possibly can from the side. But Smoker, he's gonna try and survive. That's gonna be a too. The lurks of the are beautiful. Smoker spots out the final player, and it's all up to Pixel. Pixel should be able to find it regardless, but still Bullet's pretty much staying alive. He's able to find all the kills, but Smoker jumping down from heaven. He doesn't shut down one, he shuts down two. It's gonna be a 5-3 scoreline, and Reckoning, they got an impossible round for themselves. I have no other way to put it.
This was an impossible round. You know what? All right, let's try and make sense of what just happened. There was JN who was checking for CT, right? And the only thing Pasha Sahil was trusted to do is to try and prevent exactly this from happening. He was checking heaven, he put down the smoke there, but instantly turns around to check A main. He had that intuition that there might be somebody coming in from a backstab, but no, he was there in heaven. As soon as he turns back and Smoker perfected his timing for the jump, he just had to connect those shots because just the timing of it isolated this frags from himself. He had to take down the opera player, and that was pretty easy. He had to take down Pasha Sahil for his aim. That was easy as well. And the final player, of course, he was supposed to go down. It was a 1v2. So, I mean, just The little lapse in concentration from Pasha Sahil changed the round on its face, and we've got ourselves a 5-3 scoreline. This game is turning out to be very, very freaking exciting, ladies and gentlemen. And I just can't hold back my horses because look at this. Aldrone being sent in. There is a lot of presence towards C as well. You can see 5 men coming in. They have maybe got a ultimate invested. They are probably trying to go for a rolling thunder. I'm not really sure. Not yet so far. Jane with the Phantom. A very risky move. Pixel takes him out. The smoke exactly wasn't really the perfect one. Smoke will peek out and will get punished as well. Buster takes down Bad Love as well. This looks like Team Valor and they're on.
Yeah, they're gonna get this regardless. They use JN as pretty much the pseudo body flash. And took over the side. A bum rush on the sea is sometimes the best medicine to try and take down any form of a strong defense. They rush it in. They take a 5-4 scoreline for themselves. And now the defenders, yeah, their eco, it took a massive hit.
Absolutely. Like so far, even though they did win the last round, I feel like the only reason why they don't really have money is that it was a 1v1. They lost a lot of weaponry in the process, and that is sort of hurting them right now. It's completely fine. I feel like they can manage with the sheriff, considering the fact that they also have that advantage of a round and a buffer. I feel like they can make it a 5-5 and then eventually make a comeback.
Buster just kept on spraying. He just kept on spraying at the garage doors and they just ran into his awaiting arms with that look. Who's on a beautiful lurk? He's gonna be able to shut down one. He's gonna be able to shut down a second deadly. He's gonna be able to take down one more. What just happened with the sheriffs? They have full control over every single side. Like they pushed out from mid. They pushed in from the side of A mid. Bad Luck got a kill onto a player who was just holding from a corner, trying to go on back. Who were the attackers? Who were the defenders in this round? What?
See, they knew they were. This was.
No. This happened in the first 30 seconds of the round. Salty, first 30 seconds, the defenders were in the attacker site spawn. What?
They got a little ahead of themselves, as simply as I would want to put it. They got a little ahead of themselves. I'm losing my mind with the game that I'm seeing so far. Like Sheriff clutches and eco rounds, thrifties. This is insane stuff. Team Reckoning. What are they looking for so far? They've got the read that this should be a hit, right? Team Valor, they're sort of starting to play the game that is being dictated by Team RGE right now. If you look at this, Team RGE, they're the ones who are dictating the pace of the game. If they try and push up, they're the ones who are making this game a little more aggressive. If they've slowed their attack down, they're the ones who are making it a little more defensive as well. This is going to be Bad Love when he pushes out. This was a very outrageous move and Buster takes him down comfortably. Now, the lockdown has been destroyed and eventually Buster has been destroyed as well. 4v4. And here, maybe we might see a rolling thunder. And as soon as I say that, the knife point is like,
Careful there.
bye-bye.
Yeah, that was a smart move from the defenders to just hold it down through. The rolling thunder should not really affect that very specific sideline. Hoax, he's waiting for way too long. That would have been a costly one for him. His teammates were not going to be ready, but still the trades are just going to be even better. Bullet comes in down strong, keeps his body safe from the sidelines. And deadly, he needs to worry about multiple different angles. He doesn't know which side to look at. One stomping on his left, one stomping on his right. And Hoax is going to be the one to shut him down immediate. And now it's all up to Smoker. You're good, man, but not today. He does get one kill, gets caught up by the rest too. 6-5 on the map of Haven. It's looking quite good and very even for both sides.
Last round before the
Absolutely, this is a very evenly contested affair. But then once again, you can't really back yourself on one ultimate, and that is the Rolling Thunder. When you have a Rolling Thunder, you have an obvious advantage on attack. That is done and dusted. You know that that would happen. But if you think about the other rounds, you know that Reckoning or Reckoning Esports, they're the ones who have had a clear advantage in terms of dictating the pace of the game. For sure, one Rolling Thunder can change the momentum, but I think if you consider which team right at the top, I would definitely 100% say that this has been Reckoning and their game so far. Team Valor, they're trying hard. They're trying different strategies. They're trying to keep the opposition predicting and on their toes. And I love that approach. But they need to do more to break this defense apart. This time, though, they're sending in that Ultron, trying to gather some sort of information outside B. They've got a lot of presence towards mid as well, so that can be exploited from these peaks coming in from Pixel through Garage. He can actually lure players towards him, and with the Spectre that he possesses, he can win this close range duels with aggressive. What do you think?
This close range proximity fight is even more harder to take, but Pixels! Dude, they're not even gonna let me say anything that I think at this point, but ooh, if that was in range, that would have been a massive amount of damage already being given over towards the attackers. But for now, they're still gonna be able to survive. But Deadly, he gets completely timinged on the game of Valorant. It's not gonna be in his favor for this round, seemingly. And we're looking at the possibility of a 6-6. I do not believe there are gonna be any switch ups, no hiccups.
Got one.
Hey, if this was a ranked game, I would have gone for a knife there.
Dude, trust me, even I would have. But Rio takes down Buster in the process. 2v4 right now. A monumental task that is required off of him. And just like we mentioned, like just as I said that it's sort of Reckoning Esports who have a clear advantage. Team Valor, they make me eat up my words. Bad Love has been taken down. This guy Rio is trying to dodge the Hunter's Fury. The laser beams are causing him so much trouble. This is JN trying to come in from the knives. This is, I mean, he was gunned down, right? He was ganged up over there, and there's nothing he can actually do about it.
Switching sides.
Yeah, it's just another dead scenario for him. 6-6, not really much that you can do here just to try and live it down through. But with this round swaps coming in, I don't know how I feel about this, Salty. It's a 6-6 scoreline. And on Haven to try and switch over towards the attacking side with no form of an advantage, I do believe that Team Valor, they could just be in the worst possible spot they could be in. The Breach is still very strong, but on the defensive side, the Breach doesn't really have a lot of direction in comparison to the attack. You can just textbook-wise do whatever you want with the Breach on attack and still make it work, but on defense, unless you have a proper contingency plan of how you want to use that Breach, he's not gonna get any value.
He has to play in very close proximity with the Jet, right? You try and facilitate your Jet with the Breach. That is when the Breach actually helps you so much. We can see JN completely on a different side as compared to the Breach. He tries to peek out, tries to go on a solo YOLO push, and that sort of backfires. And right now, they're sort of... Yeah, right? That sort of was a little rhyming, a little rap kind of thingy. But here you have it. Bullet trying to peek out. Hoku with an aftershock already giving value. The flash once again could be another kill. Holmes gets a second one for himself. This man is individually stopping this push all by himself. Look at this. The way he has discouraged Team RG to move to another side. Bad Love dinks Pasha to oblivion. This is extinction so far right now. I don't think Pasha is coming back from the brink of extinction. Buster though, with the ghost. Now all that they have to do is to rotate towards the seaside and properly have a retake scenario completed. They've got the nanoswarms, they've got, I believe they've got the fault line available as well. Here it comes, the fault line takes down two of these players, and Buster can easily take them down. The cyber cage can actually prevent the fight for a bit, but all of these players are towards CT. They don't really have a backup. Buster gets the first one, you get the second one as well. Yes, and there is a third one as well. Get all of those bullets in your skull because I'm going to take the round away from you. Oh my!
He takes a swing, he takes a fight, and there is no situation where you can't count on this man to perform.
Dude, every single time we're trying to give out certain protection, for example, you said the breach is going to be questionable. Hawks just steps up and he's like, all right. Look at what I do. He uses the aftershock to perfection. Sewers were blocked off. He uses the flashes to perfection. The main territory was blocked off. What more do you want from an agent? This was a proper reply. And I feel like even I was replied when I kind of questioned Team Valor, and now suddenly they're the team who's on the lead.
It's just such a beautiful game to watch, especially when both of these teams, they're just constantly at each other's necks, and these are the type of games that you always really want to see. But that gravity well could just cause a little bit of a damage and put a damper on the plans of Reckoning of how they want to enter this side. But you gotta remember that Reckoning, they did go in for a force fight, and they pretty much showcased to the opposition that, oh, we're forcing this round, so you better be careful. And all of the defenders, they know they cannot hold down the site like this. They need to take it a little bit slower, possibly play in for a retake. But now with both of the initiators inside of the A site,
the flashes. Hawks, what? Trade goes in for a second as well. This man is on fire right now. Look at Smoker. This is an absolute frenzy of Spectres in the side. Frenzy of Spectres, a little pun over there. The smoke is going to dissipate. Buster is going to bust the skull of Pixel. What a game we have had so far. Look at this. The Marshal as well as the fault lines come in. Smoker trying to play a little sneaky through the cage. He's still trying to spot down plays. He's going to spot Buster, take him out as well. The flashes will come out. Smoker completely blind. And Buster doesn't connect. Shorty exciting action, and here we have it. Team Valor get the 8th round for themselves. This game is full of action, and I can't stop screaming.
Yeah, we're gonna lose our voices after this one.
I don't mind. I don't mind. This is for a good cause.
This is gonna be such a fun game, that's for sure. They're gonna be able to get a couple of the skins for themselves as well. Maybe just take out their opposition with style, get a couple of style points to work with. Still waiting for someone to pick up that protocol bundle, but you know, it's not here yet. I do believe I couldn't even check out the shop, man. I literally got up. I was like, oh, I gotta update my game. And then Assassin calls me and he's like, yo, it's time for casting. And I'm like, god damn it, I still haven't checked out any of the new skins or any of the new bundles or anything. And at this point, I do believe that the teams are pretty much on the same boat. They're still trying to figure everything out, and the Spectre just feels, I don't know, the Spectre feels really good still, even though it got nerfed, but somehow the players are making it work. They're making it look like child's play, and it didn't even get changed.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, the best part about the Spectre is that I feel like, considering the fact that you use it at medium to small range, it can always be helpful considering the fire rate. It can be a little less accurate, but then the players sort of know how to use it, right? They have got the aim to work with. They can miss a few shots in the process, but they'll still be able to put fire through you. So even if you miss a couple of shots, it doesn't really matter. The way they're using it at close to medium range, I perfectly love it. But so far, so forth, we've got 2 casualties, 1 from each team. Team RG, they're still trying to push up. JN will be pushed back on the back of that knife point, but Recon comes in as well. So this basically means that there will be a commitment. Deadly 10 still trying to deal with him, and so far, so forth, not really successful.
Yeah, I do think that they should be the ones going for this plan pretty easily. Nothing to really worry about just yet. Get stacked out a little bit, Smoker, but you know, a couple of love taps here and there. Nothing to really worry about, but Pasha, he's giving them haircuts as well from the side. JN's gonna be able to swing himself forward, dumps, get that final kill, and now it's all up to Rio. Rio, my boy! Ooh! He's really good for the first initial kill, but to get the rest, it's just not gonna happen. It's a 6 and 8, going over to a 6 and 9. The magic number is gonna be on the board, and now the defenders, they're going to be in pretty prime spots. Team Valor, they're looking quite good on their defensive side, and it feels as though the map of Haven is not an attacker-sided map at all. It's a defender-sided one.
Exactly, right? And this is something which I've experienced every single game. Like, you think Haven would be attacking-sided. And this is one of the reasons why every time we have Haven on our map veto, I say this during the analysis segment as well, that Haven is attacking-sided on paper. But more so, it kind of confuses the attackers on which side they want to commit. It sort of spreads out the defenses, and the defensive side teams, they're really good at holding Haven down. So when you have that sort of comfort on a level on a map, you know that you can make it yours, and the defensive side teams, they know how to make it theirs. Team Valor is one such team. Team Reckoning, they're certainly struggling so far. Like, this is probably the first time in the competition in this game so far we have seen so many rounds go to one team on a trot. Like, if I look at the timeline, then Team Valor, they have won the last 5 rounds from a situation where it was 6-4. We are seeing 6-9. So you know that the momentum has shifted completely, and there's nothing that Team Reckoning can actually do about it.
Oh, trick shot. Did he hit something? Oh wait, he broke one of the Cypher tripwires. I was like, wait, why did he pull out that voice slide? And then I'm like, oh wait, the tripwire.
Yeah. So far, so forth, no advancements. We have only got 45 seconds on the clock. No real estate for the attacking team. Team RG still trying to progress further. First initial kill comes in from Pasha side. Smoker has been decimated. Now, what can they potentially do? They're still trying to make this A push happen, but the read from Team Valor is perfect. They know that this should be an A push. Jane is already stationed in with his operator. The shot might miss.
Oh my god, the timing.
Pixels. I'm sorry, there is no controller action for you. JN connects this shot. His guns are enough. Doesn't really matter if he's suppressed. 14 seconds on the clock. They've got to go and plant the spike. First one, the speed transfer doesn't happen. Hoax finds a trade for himself. The operator, not really successful this time. Bad Love is doing so much heavy lifting for the team, has transferred it to a 2v2 right now. Yeah, D10 is going to survive the lockdown, but right now what happens? Flashes comes through. Hawks trying to get as much real estate as possible. The aftershock is going to make him explode. And here it comes.
Enemy remaining.
30 HP. Both of them are at 1 health.
Oh no.
Both of them are at 1 health. They should know You gotta be careful. Oh!
Dude!
He just needed to swing that. Why did he go in for right clicks? You don't go in for a right click at that range. You just left click him down. He's at 1 HP. Even a Vandal shot is gonna be able to kill him.
I mean, a leg shot would have been fine as well. He didn't even need a body shot or a head shot. Damn, the lapses in concentration. Could have been 6-10, but now at least the game is even closer, and that is something which I want. Team Reckoning finally in a very tight situation managed to win a round for themselves, and Team Valor suddenly, wait, what? Their economy is not good? Team Valor just won 3 back-to-back rounds. They lost 1.
Not in consecutive fashion. Like, not in a very convincing fashion, sorry.
Yeah, right. So they lost weapons. They lost a lot of players, they lost a lot of guns, and in the process, this will be an eco round for them. Of course, RGE is still struggling to make their presence felt towards the seaside corridor, and even Buster is actually pushed up. Look at this. Jane gets 1 frag, Buster gets another.
Right there.
This is nice. This is a 3v3 situation right now. And Pasha Sahil, he's actually pushing up as well. The knives, though, are going to butcher him down. Bad Luck doing so much damage. Triple kill for this man. Once again, just showing what he's capable of. Team Valor, even though this was a sort of eco round for them, they drew it really close. But suddenly, Blood Love makes all the difference.
It's just looking up and up and up for them. And now Bad Love, he heard the last player. Goes in for a right click. And he finds a headshot with it. Hey, if this was the old patch, then that headshot possibly would have costed him.
Yeah, absolutely. 8-9. And Team Reckoning, they're not giving up yet, aggressive, and I love this. I love this, dude. Like, the way both these two teams are playing so far, they're giving the opponent the toughest competition that they've faced recently. And this game, it's not just about like trading rounds. This is not boring trade game. This is actual Valorant action, and one of the best that I've seen in a very long time. And I love watching this game so far. You're right, pumped. Chin takes down Deadly 10 in a flash, but of course he will be resurrected. Smoker helping his teammate. The smokes will block off any sort of lines of sight, and that basically means that you have to fall back. There's nothing that he can possibly do about it. Hunter's Fury though, but it will be a waste. We've got another Hunter's Fury that has been activated. 2 laser beams at each other. Yup, shot misses Jane and Ray aside for us. Pasha Sahil, look at him. He can be the absolute key for this retake. But Rio has an idea. There is Pasha Sahil behind him. He just needs to hold on.
Already. It's building up to be closer and closer. They've used a lot of utility to try and stop this push, but the Ascent already going on for 2. Smoke is gonna be good for 1. Smoke is gonna be good for 2. Smoke is gonna be good for 4. Smoke, he's looking for his ace. But Pasha Sahil, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna be giving anything away like that just yet. The side of Reckoning, they're trying to break down the walls. They're trying to go in for the equalization, and Pasha, he's trying to pick up those pieces. Everything is falling apart for his team. He's trying to go in for a beautiful play of his own. He's not going to be able to do one much. He's going to be able to take that 3. Pasha, you're so good, but it's just not going to happen. Smoka was hungry for the ace. He's going to die to the spike because of it. A lot of eco damage being done on towards the side of Reckoning, but at the very end, it was a 4K for Smoka, 4K for Pasha. But it just didn't work out. The controller and the sentinel for both of these teams, they're going absolutely ham at one another. Just look at Smoka, man. That guy just tore through everyone of Team Valor as they went in for an execute.
You know what? It kind of felt like the entirety of Thanos' team is trying to break open the fort, and Smoka was like, I'm Iron Man. Snap.
Oh god, steal away the gauntlet. Pretty much that's what happened.
Steal away the gauntlet. Damn, son, that was a good reference. And here we have it, a lot of action. Astro Stars, player stunned, but still Rio finds the frag on the folks. He dashes in, chops him down. Second one as well. This man is insane. Deadly 10 finds Pasha Sahil, finally puts him out of his misery so far. Deadly 10 pushes up towards garage. The smoke dismisses, but Buster has an idea of where he is. Through the wall, through the woodworks. A lot of bullets being fired. He's gonna wide swing, but Deadly 10 is gonna find the kill. 3v2 right now. And what's gonna happen? The attacking team, they've disengaged so far. The spike is traveling towards the A side where it's completely open. Bullet can certainly create problems, but no, Deadly 10 is the one who actually trades him out. So it's 3v1 right now with the Sheriff. JN needs a performance of his life.
Yeah, JN's got to channel his inner Pasha Sahil at this point if he wants to try and find anything. After those one taps that we saw in the early game, yeah, you know that JN has
30 seconds left.
What can Jane possibly do? He needs to avoid giving away sound cues, needs to isolate those frags.
You can just crawl under it.
Yeah, possibly he could, but then the job is almost done. Yeah, you've got the flash, you've got the tripwire, you've got the outrun as well. It's literally every single player just contributing. Every single player is contributing for that kill. We've got some nut action as well. So yep.
What?
10. Yeah, nut action.
Yeah, sure. I call it the friendship dance. You call it the nut action. Sure.
Dude, Team Reckoning from 6 to 9. They actually come back, make it 10 to 9, 4 rounds in a row. And
I
now,
call it the comeback scoreline for a reason.
Yeah, you love the 6 to 9 scoreline. I know that.
I call it the comeback scoreline. I've seen way too many comebacks happen from that score way too often. Much more than the 9-3, but the Astral Divide from the attackers actually saved the poor old boy. He nearly died there, but the Astral Divide's gonna be able to come in clutch from the...
Love the aftershock.
Ooh, this could just work out for them. They're still gonna get the plan down regardless, but Buster, he's looking for a timing. He's not gonna find the kill though. He missed out on those shots. But that's gonna cost him, and now Reckoning, they have full control. They don't have anything to worry about here for now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even though they have full control, it can be a complete warfare in this B side. Look at this, gravity well, short darts, flashes, bullets just going ham. Buster finds way through the woodworks, Hoax finds Bad Love. They're still going for the defuse, but no, they're actually pushing on. Buster's got 3k for himself, Hoax too. This is how Team Valor make a comeback. What a warfare it was. It just took a snap. One blink and you could miss it all. But at the end of it, Team Valor finally find themselves in what a round it was. I love the approach right from the start, aggressive, like putting the Astral Divide down, putting so much utility to just facilitate your entry, getting the spike plant, and then putting in 2 more stars so that you just have that insurance policy, the gravity wells as well as the Nova pulses. All of that could have been perfect had they defended the push coming from RG. RG knew that they would never be able to defend if they don't go out and fight. So they took the fight to Team Reckoning Esports. They pushed out from their side, even though they had full control, eliminated every single one of them, and there was an absolute utility warfare. And at the end of it all, it was Team Valor who triumphed.
Enemy tag.
For now, at least, they're gonna be able to run away, get into better positions regardless. And now with the control that they have, take a swing here, buddy! And oh, Bad Love's gonna go for one, tries to go in for a refract down over towards the sides. He wants to try and take a little bit of control, but Pasha, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He has nowhere to run and he has nowhere to hide. The Spectre's not gonna be able to do any dividends for poor old Bullet, and now it's all up to JN once again. Stuck on that A side. Just an operator, and the thing is, Reckoning, they're doing such a good job of just circumventing this operator player so often. And I do believe that JN, he's turning a little bit one-dimensional. He's always holding that operator on the A side.
Exactly. He's getting a little too predictable at this point. And if he misses shots like that, then of course he is going to get punished. But that's a one-off occasion. But just like you mentioned, holding the same side every single time is going to cost you. It's going to cost you like this.
Yikes.
They're just going to be able to find the last couple of kills that they need to just take it all away. JN, it's looking quite bad for him. Just run it away, JN. He nearly got killed there by Smoker, but it's completely fine and dandy. 11 and 10. They're still looking quite good. Reckoning. One more round for them to take it on to match point. 2 more rounds for them to close everything out and take out map number 1. But on the other side, we do have Team Valor being in similar boats. They don't have buys though. That's one of the other problems. Do they want to invest here or do they want to go in for a save? And I do believe they're purely going to be playing on top of the operator from JN. So JN, will you be able to fill in those shoes? Or are you going to falter under the pressure?
Let's find out.
Full mid control though.
They have a lot of mid control. Look at where the players have actually pushed up, but they will be sent back. Look at Buster. He's sort of overwhelmed with the presence, with the outrun as well. He needs to find at least one kill, and his position has been kept being dinking, right? He couldn't really get the sonar off of him, and that basically means that he will be down into the grave. Even the Sova, the fact that he's pushed up is not going to help him because there's constant flashes. His position has been revealed, and Smoker just is going to wide swing. Just like you mentioned, JN, a lot of responsibility lies on his shoulders with the operator to try and bring back the damage, to try and bring back the investment that this team has made. But so far, so forth, he hasn't really been successful with it. You've got two ultimates, you've got the Astral Divide, you've got the Rolling Thunder as well, but I don't fancy using it in this round. One round. Just keep on surviving, play from match point. Yeah, right. All of these players, the lapse in concentration, the lapse in communication. Even though the breach died, it's instant. Almost the fact that the Astra was taken down. Jane trying to keep his operator alive, but Pixels is gonna shut him down. And that basically is it. 12 to 10 Team Reckoning actually make their way. They scratch their way to match point. And from this position onwards, it only makes sense that Team Valor want a timeout because they need to figure some things. It was an eco round for them, luckily, so they have got the money to buy more weapons in this round. At least they have got something that they can fight with. They've got 4 ultimates aggressive. They've got the Hunter's Fury, they've got the Lockdown, they've got the Astral Divide, a Rolling Thunder, a proper recipe. It's probably, they're deciding probably which ultimates to use in this situation. I kind of fancy you don't want to use all 4 at one go. You can possibly divide it in a 2-2 combination so you can get both rounds and make it overtime.
They're looking to see if they can properly use their ultimates, but at this point, Salty, I think you're more worried about the rounds than actually saving out your ults. I do believe they're going to use all 4 ultimates for an execute. There's a high chance of this.
Do they actually need Orpho? I mean, look at this, right? You can potentially use the Hunter's Fury and the Astral Divide together. You can use a Lockdown as well as a Breach ultimate together to form a combination for a retake, right? So I think these 2 pairs actually go really well. You can potentially use all 4 to probably as an insurance policy to get the 11th round then and there. But just like I mentioned, right? It can be a sort of a good pair and combination. You can use certain rounds in tandem, certain ultimates in tandem with each other to form good combinations. That's what I'm saying.
It's very much possible, but I think the desperation is gonna go in.
Oh no!
Oh, baby!
Shit!
Yes, with that jiggle. Oh my god.
Dude, my heart rate is quite up.
That was way too close for comfort. It was way too close for comfort. JN, you were playing a dangerous game. Jiggling with an op while you were scoped. You were scoped in, and you was jiggling with an operator.
Second frag, JN.
That's the thing. If they walk into his crosshair vicinity, JN is able to do a lot of damage, but they're not coming to him. He's constantly the last player alive because he's on A holding the side by himself. They're confident that JN can hold it, but the team is not able to hold down the other sidelines. As soon as JN is able to get free reign, he's shutting everyone down.
But the fact is, Team RGE, they knew that JN is holding the A side. It is every single time JN is holding the A side. Why are they adamant enough to just give away free kills to him? Just doesn't make sense because they were being very successful in C, they were being extremely successful in the B side, but now suddenly they want to execute the A side and they're being adamant enough of not even trying to fall back. This was a flawless and it shouldn't even have been half. I mean, it shouldn't really be the way it's supposed it turned out.
Sometimes the game of Valorant is just full of chances. It's full of opportunities and it's full of pitfalls as well here and there, but this round, it just felt as though it was the show of JN. JN just completely showed us up. He's like, as soon as he has an opportunity to shoot his gun, he's gonna be the one to showcase to us exactly why he's such a deadly operator player.
Dude, there was such a funny sticker of the jet over there. I would have loved to see it from up close, but okay,
oh wait, there's gonna be the Valentine stickers. Did you check them out?
No, not yet.
Yeah, the Battle Pass has Valentine stickers in it.
Here.
Yeah, right, promotes love way too much. It's just that gamers don't really have much of it. But we've got a Hunter's Fury, and I guess this is sort of synonymous of love, a long-range love which doesn't really connect. 5v5 still. They've made a lot of advancements towards mid, and there is no protection. There is no preventive utility as well. Smoker just walks up to her side, taps away Buster, and now there is Chicken once again just showing what he's got for himself. But Smoker is gonna trade him a second round for him, and here it comes, the Rolling Thunder pushing all of these players back away from side. The spike has been planted, but where are they gonna defend it from? Bullet gets so much information from that recon dart, but of course right now the gravity well is going to be supremely important. The Astra is the key in this aspect. They're trying to make this execute work. The Fragment doing a lot of heavy lifting, trying to buy some time, trying to save some seconds on the clock. Pasha Sahil just outside this nebula is going to be really deadly. Deadly finds another one. Pixels put the final nail in the coffin. Pasha Sahil has been taken off. Team Reckoning, what a victory it has been for them.
Reckoning, they just had the better control. They immediately went in for a wraparound play, played from the side of a Link, and just immediately popped 2 players in the forehead. They had nothing to worry about. They had full control. They knew the sidelines they needed to take, and Team Valor, it was just a heartbreaking loss for them. They tried their hardest to bring this one back, but it just was not their pickup. It's difficult because you as a team, you pretty much had all the advantages. Jane was taking swings. He was able to perform right at the very end. He showed up, but the fast execution over onto mid was just a little bit too much for them to handle, especially with Smoker being an absolute rat of a presence, just pushing in through his cyber cages, enemy smokes. How do you predict that? You just can't. In most cases, it's just not going to work. And as we head on down over towards the match highlights, you're going to be seeing exactly why Reckoning were able to take this. And Smoker, he was the one. He was the aficionado of all of this. Just look at this man. He's inside of a smoke, and he gets 2 killed right off the get-go in the first initial pistol round.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's not even his smoke, right? It's the nebula that was put up by the attackers. He used it to his advantage, hit himself there, and finally got 2 kills because they were the ones to aggressed inside the smoke because they thought, all right, this is our real estate. But no, wait, it has already been captured by the other teams. In Pasha Sahil, of course, with the gravity wells, he was supposed to win this fight, but the first round was like, this game has been a monstrosity right from the beginning of it all. The action was continuous, and I kind of think that I lost my voice. It's fine. I mean, there was proper showing from Hoax, there was proper showing from Rio as well. I feel every single one of these 10 players, they stepped up and they performed. This was a really good display of Valorant action aggressive.
Yeah, at this stage, it's just all about the positions that they're going to try and
Look at this Guardian action.
Look at Bad Love. Like, the Guardian just pays so much dividends. Normally, we never see a Guardian on the map of Haven, but once it gets pulled out, you know that it's going to be
the fact is,
just tapping heads.
Like previously, you couldn't actually tap the Guardian so quickly because otherwise the bullet spray was just so massive, right? Now just look at Bad Love go ham with the Guardian. The Guardian does a tremendous amount of damage, and when you are able to kind of go tap with such a weapon, and without any repercussions, without any sort of trade-off like bullet spread or recall or anything like that, you can use it to such an extent.
Especially on this close proximity fights against the Vandal. If you're going in for body shots, you're going to be able to get away with murder pretty much at that point. And whenever you have your teammate giving you a little bit of an extra backup to just try and bring away the attention from you and allow you to possibly go in for a proper hold, it just gets even better. But once again, like this round from the both of these players, it was just absolutely insane. Smoker, he had no business winning this one. He jumped down from heaven, got 2 kills, and then he got a clutch. You have to say that the Sentinel players were pretty much a difference maker on this entire game. We always put the highlights on the Sentinels, and there's a very specific reason for this.
Absolutely, but this round was probably the game changer for Reckoning Esports because the fact they got it like 6-4, they did lose like 5 rounds on a trot to make it 6-9, but then eventually they find their mojo back and once again they make a comeback. But the fact that they won that round where it was like an eco for them, they had all sheriffs up against all vandals, and Team Valor sort of gave them the opportunity, the platform to show themselves what they got and take the fight on the basis of their aim. they just did not miss their shots. This was once again another moment which was sort of a little funny because Hoax had actually jump peek and right clicked, but unfortunately enough, not a single bullet connected. I guess it was just one bullet in the leg, and that's about it. And that doesn't do enough damage. And Hoax was the one who was at lower HP, so yeah, that was a little risky. After that, it was all about Team Valor and Valor and Valor. Seventh round was what Reckoning Esports gave them a chance, and once again they started to mount a comeback. There were rounds where JN wasn't really firing in all cylinders, where Team Valor actually got that advantage for themselves, but when they started to function, JN was the ones who was being the difference maker. Once again, this was the round where Smoker just stepped up. Smoker stepped up big time, getting that 4 kill and completely preventing any sort of retakers trying to contest the side.
It's just there was no way for Team Valor to try and stop any of these aggressive plays coming in through from them. Just do head on down over towards the scoreboard though, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing. Reckoning, they had so much more potency, but once again, just as stated before, both of the Sentinel players are going to be leading the charts. Smoker with 24, Buster with 21, Deadly with 19, Bad Love with 19, Rio with 12, Pixels with 15, and every single one of the players from both of these teams, they're all on double digits. So I don't think there are any complaints on any of the players underperforming here. Everyone hit their shots, everyone used their utility, but in the grand scheme of things, even if you hit shots, even if you're able to get kills, you're not going to be able to get the rounds and you're not going to be able to get the win. It's about playing together as a team and having a proper plan of how you want to take over a site. Yeah, Smoker had incredible clutch performances just purely based on his raw mechanical skill and his game sense, but it was primarily due to the mistakes being made by Team Valor. Lapses in concentration, misplays when they're trying to push on over onto sidelines. Just imagine a situation where Hoax was able to get that clutch. We could be looking at an overtime right now, or even a win for Team Valor.
Possibly. I mean, it all comes down to a lot of ifs and buts, but at the end of the day, you've got to realize that this was an amazing game of Valorant, and I just can't stop talking about it. But I guess it's just a matter of time. We need a very small break before we come back and watch the next game of Ascent, because it is going to decide the fate of the best of 3 series. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial. Our apparel partners are 656. We'll see you very soon. Don't go anywhere.
the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LGL Crew presents the Esports Tec Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial, and our apparel partners are 656. We are back in the hot seat once again after a banger of a first game. Salty lost his mind. I'm still hyped up and ready. We're going to be jumping straight over to the map veto screen to see exactly where we're going to be headed for game number 2. And it's going to be the map of Ascent. We're gonna go
Yes.
baby.
Exactly. I mean, look at this, right? Team Valor picked up the map of Haven, but they couldn't really convert that into a victory. And now we move into Reckoning's home turf. Weird Esports, they are fly on this map. I mean, I'm so sorry calling them Weird Esports because I'm sort of accustomed to looking at these players
Yeah.
and calling them Weird Esports. But now Reckoning Esports, right? These players, they are super aggressive on the map of Ascent. They know every single nooks and crannies. And the biggest advantage they've got is that they have some really nice lines of communication between them. Like they can, take control of mid. They can decide mid game which side which they want to execute. And when they've got that done, when they've nailed down which side they want to target, they've got the utility usage, proper utility usage to facilitate that push, and I'm really pumped to see what actually happens. I'm not counting out Team Valor yet because they've got some nice strategies on the map of Ascent as well, but on this map you don't need strategies as much as you do need firepower. Isn't it aggressive?
That's the thing. When it comes down to Ascent, there are very few strategies that you can pretty much lean back on. You either go mid, you go for a split execution from mid over onto A, you go for a split execution onto B, and then is there anything left other than a B side bum rush?
Perfect. We've seen
I
a
think
lot of
we
those.
covered all of the 6 strategies that you can pull away on Ascent. There's not really much creativity that you can go for on this map other than just switching up your timings and then going in for fakes. Like, the map of Ascent really does rely on you being able to force out utility from your opposition, and that's pretty much it. That's where the real fun really lies. It's either you force out utility and then you're going to be able to enter Ascent properly, or you just have 6 strategies to rely on. And it's either you are able to be perfect in your execution, or you're just going to fall apart because the defense is just way too strong to get through.
Exactly. And speaking of agents, I feel like there is once again going to be the same double initiator composition. We might see a sky in this map because the birds and the tiger can actually help you quite a lot to kind of clear out those corners. But then we've lately we've seen a lot of breach action happen on the map of Ascent as well. So aggressive. Like, what is your call? What do you think is sort of going to be the agent compositions for these people?
In my eyes, I am going to be witnessing the map Ascent to be a bit less breach heavy and a double initiator comp with this guy. That's what I'm
Okay.
expecting anyways on this map, but we could also be seeing the KO from Deadly because after the full success of the KO on Haven, Ascent is another map where KO is very, very, very dominant on. But the breach is also a really good pickup here, primarily due to the fact that you do have the aftershock to work with. But we're going to be jumping straight over to the agent selection screen. We're not going to be dilly-dallying for long. We don't need to go in for predictions. We're going to be able to witness what exactly is going to go down through. And just as I said, the KO will be a strong pickup here. In my eyes, Ascent is the perfect map for KO because the 0 point is able to get so much more value, and that one knife can completely cover an entire site and make executions a lot more simpler, not just with the 0 point, but also with the KO ultimate, and the flashes have so many more bounce angles in comparison. And Hoax, he's going to believe in that as well.
Exactly. Now, look at this. You are completely right with your prediction. KO on either side. We've got the Sova as well, right? Rio is going to pick up the Sova eventually. Now we have mirror lineups of each other. You've got the Asher, you've got the Killjoy, you've got the Jet, you've got the KO on either side, which basically means that it's just the difference in approach. Like which team has got the better strategy, which team can actually trade out better, and which team does have enough firepower to go through this game. We saw some amazing action between JN and the other Jet from the other team, right? Bad Love. These two guys were absolutely at each other's necks, just like you mentioned on the map of Haven, and I am sort of pumped to see some similar action on the map of Ascent as well.
Looking to see a little bit more of an emphasis on just pure raw utility usage now, because with the KO they need to have the proper timings. Unless they're able to go in for pushes together as a roster, the thing is that we have already seen that from Deadly and his team, but from Hoax,
Not that much. Not that much. You're not impressed.
nah, not
Maybe.
just.
Maybe not that impressive, all right? Okay, I get it. But let's just find out what these players are feeling so far. I feel like Team Valor is sort of unflustered of what happened on the map of Haven. They know how to recover well. They know how to win games. And considering, I mean, looking at these players, looking at their faces, I'm pretty sure that they're confident, right? Team Valor is also a pretty good team on the map of Ascent. I'm not counting them out yet, and this could potentially go to a third map. It sort of looks that way. And Reckoning, they are the ones who will start on attack. So the ball is on their court. They're the ones who need to dictate the pace of the game. What does the defensive setup look like? You can see the KG utility, just like any other team, has been completely set up. You've got the alarm bot in mid, you've got the nano swarms as well as the turret towards the B side, trying to hold on two sides all by once. They've got that player stationed towards mid, so you don't really give up the mid control towards Reckoning, so that you don't have to deal with added problems. You've got two players on the A side, not enough astral utility right from the get-go, but that is generally what the defensive setup looks like. On the other side, you've got Reckoning, who is sort of completely huddled up outside the B main territory. So I love the fact that they really are confident enough in their takes, and I'm perfectly sure that they've got enough strategies, or rather executes, in their book as well. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to kick things off, and right off the get-go we can see the knife point come in. The fragment has been thrown in as well. Look at the utility usage coming in through right from the get-go. Aggressive.
Gonna be a rough one for him, but no, Bad Love. He gets a first initial tap onto the forehead of Buster. He was fully vulnerabilized, so one headshot is all that he needs to try and bring this one back. Last person alive is gonna be Bullet. Ooh, good shot out of one, but Bullet's not gonna be able to live for long on the side. Rio, he whiffs out on a lot of those different shots. He had no way to try and find that one. He completely panicked under that pressure. And
Exactly.
now, Reckoning, they're just gonna clean up house.
The onus is on the people of Team Reckoning, right? Of course, they have the knife point. They're going to spot out the players. Both of them are sort
No.
of stressed, but JN, he actually brings down Deadly 10, and now it's a 1v2 so far. Smoker needs to win these duels. The Frenzy, of course, not that successful at that range, but JN is quite low on HP. Just look at him. He's barely breathing in this point. So it effectively is a 1v1. The spike is going to go down, but JN will try and use that to his advantage, trying to use a sliver of time that he had to make some advancements. You've got the turret available, so that adds as an extra bit of security for you. Pasha Sahil, good, grabbed you well so far, and he takes down Smoker comfortably. Team Valor get that first round, and what a round has been.
Yeah, and he was playing such a dangerous game.
Was that important?
You could see that it was very close. 1 HP, he nearly got caught out by the turret, but as soon as the turret noise was made, that was all the information that Smoker needed to just be like, hey, maybe he's pushing from the side of Speedway. There's no way they're going to be splitting this approach. But no, split approach did come in, and Jane was the one who was the full-on bait there. Beautiful round from Valor to take the first initial, but once again, the pistol rounds on the map of Ascent, I absolutely hate this map when it comes down to the pistol rounds. Either you win, or it's just over for you. Like the pistol rounds are such a 50-50 coin flip that it feels as though I'm playing the map of Breeze.
Oh my god. Big call out there. But JN once again with the Marshal. And Team Valor would obviously utilize this weaponry advantage that they have to actually get the second round on board. It sort of is important for them to get this round, and it shouldn't really be very difficult for them as well, because of course they've got this weapon that shoots bullet faster than probably a Jet can dash. They're trying to make their presence felt towards like every single facet of the map. You have the KO towards the B main territory. JN is gonna shoot down Badlove. Oh my god, Badlove also had a Marshal for himself, which basically means that these guys, they sort of invested in something. Pixel does go down, but this is okay for Team Valor, but for Team RGE, this is gonna be a little too difficult because they have put in some money to this round. It's not a complete save for them.
Complete save because it's just a sheriff and you're buying a Marshal in this case. Marshals can be a pretty big difference maker if you're able to get a couple of kills, but in this scenario, they're just not going to be able to get anything here. Rio,
30 seconds left.
he's using his own Marshal to maybe find a pickup for himself, but yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Good for the first initial kill, but that's all that he's going to be able to get. 2-0. And with that, Team Valor, good strong start for them. They're going to be able to play for a full-on bonus, but will this bonus round be able to pay dividends for them? Or will they crumble and have to go on down over to their first initial buy round?
Exactly.
Let's just see.
The thing about bonus round is that you probably try and drop guns from the other camp. If you can drop enough, you can probably kill 3 players at the bare minimum. Even if you win, even if you lose a round, it's fine for you because the team will get the first round for themselves, but at least they have to reinvest into 3 more weapons for which money might not be available to them. Let's just find out what happens. Jane once again at the same angle. Now, something which you got to see from the map of Haven was that the fact that this guy, JN, was constantly peeking from the same angle time and time again, which sort of resulted in him getting counteracted in the team trying to explore the other side. But considering the map of Ascent, that's not really going to be the case, because if he tries to block off the A shot or A main territory with an operator later on in the game, they would have to eventually go down mid or probably the B side where it is completely occupied by KJ and completely blocked off by KJ. So it's a good strategy. It's not completely bad yet, but you want some dividends. You want some kills from that gun, right? And that is exactly where JN might actually falter if he tries, or rather B's a little unpredictable so far.
He's looking to see if he can find a little bit of value here over on towards the top side of mid. But Badlove, he takes massive amounts of damage. Badlove with only 5 HP, not going to be able to survive that one for long. Hoax pretty much puts a damper on their plans, and one by one, they have full control. They have all of the kills, they have the siphons under their bag, but still, the control is not yet present.
30 seconds
Reckoning, playing a dangerous game by trying to execute down over towards that A side, and they know they cannot go in for this, but look at Bullet. Bullet's gonna be the last line of defense on the B, and if he's able to hold this entire execution, it's gonna fall.
Yes, one. I mean, he's done his job so far, kind of bringing it back a little bit. And now Buster has actually brought down Deadly 10. And there's just one player. It's going to be Smoker. Remember, aggressive, this was a buy round for them. And now it's just not working out. They've dropped all the weapons, and not just weapons, they've won the round as well. This is massive for Team Valor because they make a very big start. We kind of mentioned that a 2-0 is not really a difference maker, but a 4-0 certainly is. And now Team Reckoning, they need to go for a very big eco round. Try and save up on the 5th.
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna be able to do anything here. This bonus round has played massive dividends. Not only have they won it, they also upgraded their guns for free pretty much from the attackers. So their eco is gonna be taking a big rise. And they're gonna be able to invest further into the guns and just drop some for their teammates while they build up their own bank. Having a solid economy together as a team is one of the most crucial parts in the map, in the game of Valorant in general, not just in this map. Because you always want to go in for buys together. If one person has a buy and the other doesn't, you're losing out on a lot of firepower and the investments that you make. For example, here, JN with an operator, if he didn't have his teammates to back him up, this operator could not pay massive dividends. But still, JN with the microflick's gonna be just better in this scenario with Bullet on his side, being able to get that kill on towards the face of Smoker. You know?
Yeah.
And possibility of a 4-0 coming in maybe the next 30 seconds.
Not in 30, I guess. Urea goes down. There's just Deadly 10. He's been spotted as well. The flash kind of helps him, but JN puts a bullet right through him through the wall. That is a 4-0. Good start for Team Valor, to be honest, because this kind of sets them up for the rest of the game. And we've seen their Team Reckoning are sort of struggling. I wouldn't necessarily say that this has been a complete Valor domination, because the first 4 rounds, Team Reckoning, they've sort of struggled with economy, right? The economy was never on their side for the first 3 rounds. The 1 round which they had sort of guns, they failed to make use of it. They have a proper opportunity though for a comeback. There's just way too many rounds left in this game to count out Reckoning yet. 4-0, it's fine, but there's always the fear of Team Reckoning being a little too predictable. They're not doing something much. They're not venturing into mid. All that they're trying to do is to try and make this B aggression work for them. Flashes come out, will actually force JN off that angle. Second flash to actually help him. There's a lockdown as well. There is no Hunter's Fury to actually counteract it. No shock darts will be able to destroy it as well. Or rather, yes, shock darts will be able to destroy them. The ultimate does not do any sort of work. JN takes him out. He's trying to be resurrected, and he will be. Here it is. Rio comes in with the spray, takes down Jane, but Bullet with the Odin. He sings the songs of death. This man is a Grim Reaper himself right now. Third for him.
Oh my god. He's looking for an ace. Give it to him. Give it to him. 21 bullets. And Odin ace, I don't know if I should be disgusted or should I cheer.
Yeah, right. I mean, according to the books of Valorant etiquettes, I guess this is not something to be very celebrating of. We should be celebrating, but then it's fine. I guess Bullet did.
Equation.
Yeah.
And Reckoning, they're also like, did we just get
sprayed down? Bro, spam.
And
Spam.
Spam the word that should not be spammed, but in this case, it's a 5-0. And it's gonna be a problematic situation for them to come on back from it. Because, yeah, mentally, you're gonna be in a pretty massive ditch here. It's your home map. And Team Valor, they have taken 5 rounds consecutively, and you still haven't been able to drop 1, with Bullet getting an ace on the Silva. It's looking quite rough for them.
Absolutely. 100%. There's no doubt about it. Team Reckoning, what can they potentially do? Now, they are sort of being very one-dimensional. That is their map, right? I can see the dots that they are marking on the map, and it kind of looks like they will try and execute a short territory for some reason. They might even use mid. The spike is towards B connector, so that is something which is interesting. The rest of the players, they're still trying to figure out their entry points. The smoke will be dropped in short, so I guess Buster, or I'm sorry, Smoker will try and progress towards a mid and maybe make some advancement towards short. The operator though will be counteracted. The smoke comes in, his position has been detected as well. The turret is in position, and now 3 players will try and gang up on this man. The flash will push him back once again. Chain is a very tight angle. He will eventually get to safety, but at what cost?
He's just gonna need to wait here. Buster, though, he's gonna be able to shut down 2 more. Pasha's not gonna be able to find out much, but still, Buster, he's always gonna be the one you look at to deal massive amounts of damage. And one by one, they find all of the kills, and Rio's the last player. Buster's gonna be able to swing out and a beautiful tap to the back of the forehead to shut him down. Buster with the 4K and a 6-0 scoreline going in the favor of the side of Team Valor. Things are looking up for them. And I do believe that they're going to be able to tear down the walls of Reckoning and just be able to take a 7-5 scoreline, possibly for their side.
7-5? That's a massive statement. I mean, at this point, it sort of looks like the maximum that Team RGA would be able to get for themselves is maybe 4 rounds. They've got weaponry.
Hey, it all starts here. I'm being optimistic.
You're being optimistic, and that is the best part. I think we all should be optimistic, but things aren't really looking the best for Team Reckoning, right? I mean, if you look at the general trend so far, we've been very one-dimensional. It's not just the trade game that they're losing. They're sort of being very aggressive. They're sort of trying to make this work really quickly, and that's fine as soon as they win the duels. Look at this, right? There was no need of just pushing out, but they do so eventually. Pasha Sahil is just gonna punish them, and in a plethora of frags, we see it turns out into a 4v2, and once again, Team Reckoning are in a disadvantage. The operator, Buster coming in from short. There is no need for such fast executes, but they do so irrespective. And suddenly, this round has once again gone in the hands of Team Valor. 5 consecutive rounds from this point on aggressive. It's a little tough, doesn't it?
It's a little tough, but they do have the guns for it. That's why I'm being very optimistic. That last round was pretty much a very broken buy for them, but once again, like, they're going in for buys in such a broken fashion that last round should not have been a full-on save for them to try and bring this round back a little bit on their own economy terms. But again, they're looking pretty terrible on that case. But JN, you gotta give this up, buddy. You don't want to go in for this swing at all, because if you do, you could be biting for a bit more than you could chew. But from the sidelines, Pasha is going to be able to find that kill on towards the face of Pixels. And now that the controller has died out really early, the attackers, how do they want to execute? Because now they don't have a smoke, they don't have a gravity well, they don't even have a stun. They're purely relying on the jet to be the new controller for them.
Yeah, true that. Deadly 10 still aggressing forward. Buster has been sort of detected and suppressed, but it doesn't matter because Shane brings down Bad Love. And the fact that Buster is still holding on to that mid segment, it kind of discourages Deadly 10 from pushing any further and trying to cut the defense in half. And as long as that doesn't happen, they don't really have any sort of control over mid. Look at this. This engagement happens. Deadly 10 actually finds Buster. Now what does he do? He peeks out and Shane snaps his neck.
Oh my god, that's another snap.
Spike down mid.
You're gonna be able to find so much value, but at the very end, it's just not gonna be enough. 8-0, man. 8-0. It's happening. Are we looking at a possible 12-0?
That's too much of a shout. I think it should be like a 10-2. Should be.
Never know. Hey, if we get the first 12-0 in this entire tournament, I'll be surprised.
We saw 11-1s. But never
yeah, but that
12-0.
11-1 ended on a massive comeback. You never really know what to expect here, but for now, Reckoning, it feels as though any sort of strategy or plan that they had previously is just breaking apart for them. This time around, they're trying to go in for an execution purely based on the ultimate usage and also the knife usage as from the guys of the KO, but it's just not working for them at all. JN consistently keeps on shutting down poor old Deadly. That guy has not been having a good day.
Or rather a good map, to be honest, because I kind of thought this would happen. The fact that KO and his flashes aren't really the best utility for your site to actually, for your team to actually enter into a site, that's sort of a little problematic. Now you have a lockdown position as well. The Astral Divide is going to dissipate any second, and Bad Love is actually playing for a very risky maneuver. He's going to get the first kill. He has been detained, so it would be an easy kill for Buster, and he's going to find it as well.
Wait, Hawks finds 2 kills with the fragment?
Yeah, in a fraction of a second.
Oh no, you out of charges.
How Why? What?
And it's sort of very usual, right? It's not something which you wouldn't expect. The fact that Reckoning is trying to make their attacks really fast and aggressive is sort of putting them in positions where they don't want to be. It's not like they're very comfortable in their positions. It's not like they're very comfortable in their attacks. They're sort of trying to trade off that comfort in trying to be fast and aggressive, which eventually put them in positions where these fragments and then underswarm grenades can do a lot more damage. You see every single time Deadly Den is trying to orchestrate a push with his flashes. He's trying to right click and trying to peek out as swing as quickly as he can, but he's being shut down by JN, right? You can predict where the player is going to peek from, and that is one of the problems with these guys. Oh my god, that could have been devastating, but Deadly Den finally finds Hoax, so no flashes to deal with, and now Pixels has been taken down. Two players once again in quick succession, one for each team.
Another problem that I'm witnessing here on multiple different occasions is that the A side hits are coming, the B side hits are coming, but they're not trying to go in for any form of pincer play. It's either you full scale rush from market, either you full scale rush from B main, or you full scale rush from A main. That's it. No pincers from A short. No fights being taken from the other different sidelines. There's no way they're just able to find anything here. This round, though, in particular, Bad Luck, he's trying to go in for a little bit of mid control, but even that is not predominant. He's by himself. There's no one to trade him. If he loses the gunfight, it's over. They're playing purely on the basis of them winning gunfights, and this is what I don't like, especially on a map that is very utility reliant.
Exactly. Look at Bullet though. This man is in a very outrageous position. As soon as his players peek out, he's gonna fire, but no, this time at least Team Reckoning, they survive the onslaught 3v2, sort of a very sliver chance of they can win the first round for themselves. The spike goes down, of course. JN is gonna peek out. Pasha Sahil probably knows his position. Peeks out, takes out Bad Luck. What a shot was. Expected that position, but JN, he's got one bullet in his chamber and he needs to connect that. He does so. This fight is
nice.
done and
Just
dusted.
use it.
Maybe he can also switch up the gun if he wants to, but that's not required because you've got the other player, you've got Pasha Sahil who's actually making his way forward. There's only been one or rather two players detected, so they know where they're gonna come from. These players are gonna peek out. Pasha Sahil doesn't land the shot. Smoker is successful. JN will be brought down, and Team Reckoning, congratulations, got the first round for themselves. Exactly, 9-3 could be a very decent scoreline that they're looking for.
Hey, that's the best scoreline on the map of Ascent for a reason. The curse could be on their side if they do have the prerequisites, but for now at least, it's still gonna be a pretty long and arduous climb to the top. To get that 9-3, you need to show consistency. There is no dropping of rounds whatsoever, and you cannot give away an 11-1 scoreline on this map. For a pistol round to carry that much weight, you're playing a dangerous game of Valorant.
The fact is that Team Reckoning, they've given away a lot of rounds right at the start. Once again, we have got locked on all these players trying to make their presence felt. Trying to go for a fast push. The shock darts does come in, but it does not destroy the lockdown yet. So that's a good sign. They can eventually make their way forward. Bad Luck does it. He will switch off the door for sure. And now with the smokes in place as well, they can potentially block off any sort of retake players trying to come in. JN exactly knows where Bad Luck will be positioned because he's a fellow Jet. But more so that these players, they've actually moved towards A side. Look at this. Pixels is almost on the way of planting his spike there, but Bullet is in position already. Sprays down two players, and here it is. Pasha Sahil as well as JN come to the party, and you have a complete package.
He whiffed out on so many of those shots. He's still gonna be able to find the kill regardless, but at the very end of the day, how much really does it even matter? Well, if your teammates are dead down over towards the A side as they were trying to rush in for that execute, and that's the thing, Valor, they're not showing any form of respect. There's a nebula up on the top. There's a nebula on heaven, and Bullet just swings through it, through a flash from his buddy Hoax, and just mows everyone down. Jane goes in for a reverse swing with the operator and also gets away with it. And the fact is, there is no form of utility being used to try and stop it. Normally, if you get killed from heaven this many times, how do you change up the strategy? How do you bring yourself to do something a little bit better? You either throw in a nano swarm on heaven to stop people from overly aggressing on top of you. You can
They've
use a
tried that.
fragment from the KO. Nothing's working.
They've done that, right? They've done lineups of both Fragment and Nanostorm to try and push out Jane from his position, but that hasn't been possible. That hasn't been very successful so far. In fact, nothing is actually working against this guy because he's just so good trying to change positions, and he's so good with the operator in this game. He's having a blast on the map of Ascent, and this is something which I like, right? They're trying a much slower path. Once again, the knife comes in, and here it comes. The Hunter's Fury. It has probably spotted a player. Hoax is trying to dodge it. Meanwhile, all the other players, they're trying to make their way in. And as soon as I say that, Jane just basically balancedly puts two players to his game. And a third one, which is absolutely outrageous. The flick on a smoker. What on earth was that team RGE? They were completely dominated, courtesy to their own mistakes of repeating and repeating and repeating what they did. Fast-paced aggression is just not the name of the game on the map of Ascent so far, as it seems to be. Team Valor could shut down the gates and shut down all the sites without any trouble whatsoever. There were no trades. None of the rounds were close.
I have no clue.
You know what?
I think it's a GG go next thing.
I don't really think that Reckoning is out of this yet, because the kind of gameplay we associate Reckoning with, it's basically good defense, right?
But the thing is that they're getting counter-stratted way too heavily.
Yeah, absolutely.
Valor, they have done their homework for the whole map of Reckoning, and once again, this is what I was telling you previously. Haven is a map that we know where Reckoning are really good on. Weird, of course, that I'm talking about. Weird was incredible on this map, but here it's not really the case. We have seen Team Valor perform to pretty much extreme lengths on the map of Ascent. This is their home turf. And the fact that Reckoning picked up this map, that's why when I saw the map veto screen, I was so surprised. You can't get away with this one easily.
But maybe there's a miracle in the works. You never know. I'm a believer. Aggressive. Are you a believer as well?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I guess that sometime will be answered this time. The JN treads a little too much in mid. The wall will be shut down. So that's one option for him that has gone. Team Valor, they're sort of struggling with trying to get advancements in this side, but I like their approach, right? I like this approach of trying to just take the pace of the game, trying to make the other team predict what's happening. JN and his position will be revealed, but I don't think that is going to do too much problems for them. All these players will try and walk into Team RGE. They should be able to win this pistol round because they've got an advantage for themselves. It's a 4v2 so far, and Battle of Rio and Pixels, they put the 3 final players in the coffins. And now we have the second round for RGE. The win condition was to win their pistol round and win the round after that without giving away many rounds, without giving away many kills. And they did that comfortably in this round so far. Let's see what actually follows aggressive, because I kind of personally think that even this defense that RGE is trying to put up should be a little difficult to explore. I mean, should be a little difficult to exploit from the side of Team Valor.
For now, at least. They get that first initial round for themselves. They have the pistol under their back, so they're going to be able to get that sigh of relief that they really need. But is that really even a sigh of relief anymore, Salty? You're on an 11-2 scoreline. It's more like a chokehold that you're not going to be able to get out of anytime soon.
Oh wait, Deadly Jump is an Ares.
Oh, the Ares. He knows the weapon has been buffed. And I really want to see that weapon just tear through their opposition. Bad Love comes in down strong. He does find one more kill onto the face of Hoax. Look at the Ares. It's going to go with Burr. But still, he's not going to go find a bunch of... Oh, there's the first initial pump. Here comes the Ares. He hit it in hard. He's going in for it. That's all he's losing his mind. That's his favorite gun. But the fragments are going to be the thing that shuts down Bullet. And the Ares, you can see how it got buffed as well. Before, the Ares could never shoot this quickly, but now that gun is pretty much as fast as an Odin when it comes down to fire rates.
And also the fact that Odin takes a lot of time to load. I saw the Ares just launch instantly. Like as soon as you press the trigger, it kind of starts firing.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what that's the buff. It doesn't have a wind-up time anymore.
And that is probably the biggest advantage that a Vandal or Phantom had over these machine guns, right? And now that has been taken off the charts. So this seems nice. Deadly 10. The only thing which Team RG wouldn't want to do is to try and just take this game for granted. The defense is good, and they can probably hold on to it. JN will be tagged in by the alarm bot. The Nana Swarm will delay him for a bit. You see, they've stopped them on all their tracks. They've stopped them from entering B main. They've stopped them on entering mid. And even the A side has got the couple of Astra stars as well. So if they try and do anything funny, I guess they will be counteracted. Team Valor need to know this, need to think about this really hard. Which side, which they want to exploit, which side do they want to go to?
It's not gonna be looking that good for them just yet, but maybe, just maybe, it's gonna be JN's turn to get that first initial pickup, but they're not giving anything to him. They're just waiting it out.
All Team Reckoning needed to do was do this, right? Take the sting out of the operation, take the sting out of the push. But this time, Team Valor do something similar.
Oh yes, the Odin!
Deadly 10 brings out Bullet. What a game this is! Bad Luck brings out JN. This was a buy down for them, and it's not turning out to be the best. One player's gonna wise wing. Pixels just runs and guns Buster. Hawks does bring back Deadly 10, but that's all that he could possibly do. Team Reckoning are mounting a comeback, and this comeback is real. It's 11-4 right now, and should be a potential 11-5.
Deadly is loving the Ares right now. It is so strong that I possibly would just pick up that Ares and just play it over the Odin at multiple occasions if I am a Sova. If I am a Sova.
The Ares can also have a run and gun potential right now. Do you think so?
No. Salty, bad boy. Bad boy. Bad boy.
I mean, imagine, just imagine, dude, 50 bullets in the chamber, just do mouse one on your mouse, press W, and you are a walking machine gun. Damn, it would be cool. You can drive by anybody.
Things that happen in your rag to yourself. Okay. Oh, what? I think that Rio liked my statement.
I have, the op shot misses, but Buster still trying to make an entry. This is an eco round, so I wouldn't be surprised if they lost it. But the only thing which I once again said would be true, right? They need to save their weapons. They need to save their guns, and Pixels is sort of doing that. This is not going to help him. Hawks is going to fall as well. The Sheriff's not really that successful. Pixels might get his fourth as well.
Enemy down.
A little bit rough there, but it's fine. Nothing to really worry about. They're still going to be able to find the final kill, but Buster! It was so good there. Pops Bad Love in the forehead with a beautiful shot, but still, it's just not gonna be enough. It's gonna be an 11-5. They're slowly inching their rounds closer and closer to victory. And for Reckoning, this could be the final turning point for them.
Maybe, just maybe. You know, like I mentioned, right, Reckoning, they're good on defense, and they're slowly starting to crawl back into safety. If they make it 11-7, I would say that they are back in the game, because momentum right now is heavily in their favor. We saw what Team Valor made out of a 4-0 start. They made it 7-0. They made it 8-0 probably as well. And that is exactly what Team RG need to do. They've got the first 4 rounds after the pistol round, right? And now they just need to mount on that tide. Just need to ride the tide and just make it theirs. One shot. Bad Love just barely misses over there. But that's fine. Jane wouldn't be able to do much at that point. He's actually moved towards a short region right now. Only 2 players. This can be problematic. The read isn't there yet from the side of Reckoning Esports. Pixels is quite low on HP. So all of these things together, I think they need to rotate very fast to stop this push.
They need to come in quickly though, because now it's gonna be the time for the execution. But both of the KOs have now popped their ults. Pixels in at a prime spot. He's gonna go for the first initial kill. Valor's gonna be able to go in for the refrag. Valor with his second. Valor with his fourth. Sorry, Valor with his third, but you know what I mean. He nearly got a fourth.
What? What just happened?
Did so much damage. They go in for an execution on the A, but that's what happens when the smokes are not deep enough. 11-6 on the scorecards, and it feels as though Reckoning, you were right, Salty. The defensive side is where they are the strongest. This is the place where they're gonna be in charge. This is their home ground now.
It absolutely looks to be like 5 rounds on a trot and an eco for Team Valor to deal with. Only one hero phantom buy on Buster, and that is it. That's not enough weaponry to take down this monstrosity of Reckoning Esports. Right? I mean, it would hurt if this game actually ends in a 2-0 fashion because the teams have been very, very freaking close. But the way it looks like to me, Reckoning Esports should be able to mount a comeback. And just like the map of Haven, I have no idea what happens in the final third of the game. Like the final third of the game is just so close, especially when it's like double digits for both the teams. At that point, you just have no idea. Your strats just completely fail. You just have to play it on the basis of your gun power, right? Even in sports, the final 10 minutes or the final stretch, if you're a runner, the final stretch of 10 meters is where you actually just let yourself, you forget about your technique and you just you run with all your life. And this is exactly what happens in Valorant as well. You just try and survive as if it's your own life.
You need to use your mechanical skill instead of your game sense to get you through a lot of these different
Exactly.
scenarios. And I do believe that at this
The
stage,
nerves also kind of take the better of you, but you know, teams who can actually handle nerves better will probably be the victors.
I think that with this pause, Team Valor, they're going to be able to mentally reset themselves a little bit better.
Yeah.
This was a technical pause taken by Reckoning, so you got to remember that it's going to be a tough one for them to come on back from, especially with the momentum reset that they're facing, as well as a full-on stop for Team Valor. But it was a smart plan to take this pause on an eco round. So Team Valor, they're not really gonna have any form of an advantage. They do have a couple of sheriffs to work with, and that's pretty much it. Still gonna be able to find out a lot, but Bad Love,
Here.
he's playing a dangerous game out here. He knows his position, and they're gonna mow it all down. Smoke up with a 3K, gets shut down, but Bad Love's gonna be there for the refrag, and that was possibly one of the quickest rounds that we have seen in a pretty long time.
Yeah, right. Like Smoker
Like,
was
did he
like,
miss it?
I'm gonna sweep through all of these players. He just goes yeet with a phantom, and none of them are able to survive. And how would they? They had sheriffs to work with, but this is the place where it actually starts to get very close. This is 11-7, ladies and gentlemen. Just like I said, this is when you call Team Reckoning officially back in the game, and they certainly are, and they're looking very damn strong. Like, of course, they can't really afford to make mistakes right now. Like, even if they make mistakes and they give away the match point, they literally would have no safety net whatsoever. So they need as many rounds as they can. They have momentum. They have that, what do you call it? The capability of making it probably like an 11-10. The flash does come in, but Bad Love is still sticking in his position. No info yet so far. They're trying to venture midway too much. Look at where JN is actually, but he falls back, he reconsiders and disengages from that position. I'm not really sure what the plan is. They're trying to run down the clock as much as possible. So it's 1 minute on the clock, and they still haven't made any sort of entry. Buster is here to prevent any sort of backstabs from coming in, which is a very good measure. 4 players on the A side and 1 player in B. Buster will immediately regroup it so that he can reinforce his team and reinforce their frontal offense. 45 seconds. This is gonna be the start of it. They're just running down the clock, trying to warm up their guns. 1 player has been spotted. JN goes high. Bad Love reconsiders, repositions himself. Recon that will be coming in as well. This is gonna be a very fast execute. Lockdown has been initiated. And what can we expect from here, Aggressive?
Bad Love, he's dead.
Oh no!
Bad Love should have dipped out immediately. The fact that he stayed there pretty much cost him his own life. I do believe that one person did get caught out by the ultimate. And now he's gonna be in a pretty tough spot. Bullet's gonna try to run away. Pixels is gonna be content first initial kill on towards the face of Hoax while he had that lurk, but now it's all up to Pasha. Pasha's making that slow push up, and Deadly, if we don't watch this, if we don't hold down this angle, the timing's not gonna be that good. Pasha, he's gonna get away with murder. He's gonna get that first initial kill. He's looking for a perfect play, but still it's just not gonna be enough. Pasha's gonna be good for only 1. He's still not gonna be able to hold for long, but still Rio is holding down the sidelines. He's holding another 40. He does get the half it infused, but it's more not gonna be enough. Because it's gonna be Buster with the swing to shut down the final 2 players. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, they get the 12-7 scoreline. They have the match point under the bag. And even though it was how many rounds, Salty? It was on a 11-1 scoreline. And with a 6th round consecutive win, it just takes that one round for everything to start falling apart. It's at match point. And now, Reckoning, they're not fighting for the victory. They're fighting for an overtime.
Get out of my way!
Whew, that round was really hectic. Once again, Pixels has been suppressed. He will completely flash, but no, Pixels finds the frag on Hawks. What was that? What is this monstrosity? Smoker finds Buster. This team does know how to play Valorant and survive from the brink of death. The Odin! Oh my god, JN, 2 HP.
The black market gun for a reason.
Dude, I don't even know if it's black market, but this is Hell's Kitchen right now. And all of these players, they are frying.
Idiot sandwich.
Dude, I mean, wait, just have a look, right? Pasha Sahil still trying to make his entry into the site without really knowing, without having any sort of information where the defenders are. He needs to check all those corners. Meanwhile, Reckoning just waiting for that opportunity. Now, all these players, there might be sort of open information should be shared. And JN, he did miss his first shot. Flashes did come in, but flashes nobody. Here it is, the gravity well, and oh my god, Pasha Sahil just chucks them Pixels as well as Deadly 10 into himself. The Odin is still here. Smoker as well as Bad Love. Bad Love takes on Pasha Sahil. Only one player survives, and that's gonna be JN, 2 HP with 4 knives. I think he's got what it takes to clutch out this round. If he does so, it will be a miracle. None of these players, he gets the first one, but Real shuts him down, sprays him down with an Odin. There's nothing he can do about it. Retrieves the operator, retrieves the Odin, and now they've got a weaponry of gods. You've got the operator and the Odin combination.
Placing alarm bomb.
I don't know, tightrope now. Reckoning. They're pretty much trying to balance themselves before falling down. This 12-8 scoreline's not looking that good. It's looming straight over them. And for Team Valor, they need to be careful of what they're investing into. The rounds are slipping right between their fingers, and if there is a loss here, you get one more buy round to work with before double digits comes back on board. And JN, too much aggression. You need to be careful. He's pushing in way too deep without his team, and they're falling apart because of it. And Bad Luck is gonna be the instructor for all of this destruction. And now it's all on the Oaks. This was an eco round, so I'm not going to be putting any form of problematic situation over towards the other side. It's going to be a difficult one regardless. But still, Hoax, he's going to be good for the first. He's going to be good for the second. Dealing a good chunk of eco damage. But eco damage is not going to be the thing that wins you the game here. You need to find that proper plan for the following round. Talk it through between yourselves as he waits out this round, because the next round could just be your do or die.
Maybe. Bad Luck shuts
I think
down
they need
Hoax.
to win here or now. They need to win here, otherwise it's over. Team Valor, they're possibly going to be having to fight for an overtime.
It looks like, because economy is certainly not going to be forgiving to them for a very long time. They've got light shields on Pasha Sahil as well as JN, which can be the difference maker for this for these teams so far. You've got the operator on Bad Love as well, who has been on song with it. 12-9, just like you mentioned. If they win it now, we move on to the third map and we play the map of Bind. But if they don't, and it goes into 12-10, it should be an automatic 12-11 as well. And from that point on, it's just too close for comfort. A Hunter's Fury invested very early on the defensive team. Don't know yet where exactly the Hunter's Fury is being dealt with, like where exactly was it pointed, but it doesn't really matter. Smoke dissipates. They're still trying to venture forth in mid. The spike is towards A. Short is being flashed as well, so players are being pushed off. Not exactly sure what they're trying to be playing for. Bad Love spots Chain, takes him down. Mid aggression completely silenced. Aggressive.
Just
Good
gonna
position.
wait it down through.
Good
Bad
position.
Love. Not really the best of positions, because Buster's gonna swing this and possibly hold it for a pre-fire, but with the turret in place, it's gonna give him a slight little bit of an edge and an extra timing to work with. But still, The execution's gonna be coming in soon enough. We do have an ultimate in the hands of Pokes. They could be going in for the fight. That's gonna be one initial flash. They're gonna be able to take the full control, swing it out. Badlove doesn't miss the micro flick. He's still gonna be alive. Badlove, you need to try and get on the way, but he has nowhere to run, and no one can even give him the backup here in this scene. He's all by himself inside of the side. He's not gonna be able to live for long, but still, the cavalry's here, ladies and gentlemen, and they're gonna be able to pop all of the heads one by one. Reckoning Esports, they're still gonna live through it all. 12 and 10, and they're gonna get a 12 and 11 as well, because the next round has to be an eco from the attackers. They don't have enough money to go in for buys, and if they go in for buys there, no, what am I saying? They need to go in for buys.
I guess at this point they're surviving on max loss bonus. They are gonna survive from paycheck to paycheck, right? 3 back-to-back rounds for RGE. Yes, they are gonna be surviving on max loss bonus. So they will get just enough to probably buy light shields and vandals, or probably they need to trade off some utility to maybe get the full shield.
They need to save. Because if they don't save here, they have no money for the 11th round.
Exactly, right? And now they're going in for Spectres and light shields, which basically means they're exhausting all of their money. It's such financial discussion.
I wish I had taken accounting back in college.
Dude, people say game doesn't teach you anything. Man, game teaches you finance.
You gotta learn. And at this point, this retake scenario is something that I don't really like, but they do have a Killjoy lockdown to work with.
Yes.
No Hunter's Fury whatsoever, but there is an Apple-sided lockdown as well from the side of Badlove. Oh no!
Wow.
The kill through the woodworks.
Pixels is gonna check all of these corners. Will find one. Bullet needs to check this angle. Oh no, he probably heard the sound cue. He probably heard the sound cue. Bullet takes down Pixels. The knives come in. Badlove gets one. Maybe get the kill as well. Wait, he actually gets the kill. They are gonna clean sweep Bullet. He has no Hunter's Fury, which means he can do nothing from this Astral Revive. They heard his footsteps, and Rio is just gonna shoot him, dropping him dead. Just like you mentioned it. 12 and 11, and I'm sort of getting excited right now because this is a if Team Reckoning win this would be a comeback for the ages.
Salty.
My hands are getting cold.
I am never going to question your predictions again. You were like, oh, you shouldn't count Reckoning out just yet.
Yeah. From an 11 and 1 score, and I was like, you shouldn't count Reckoning out.
If they win this, I am never gonna question anything that comes. But Badlove, yo, bro. Chill.
No,
chill.
No,
chill. Oh, he gets out. What?
Dude,
no.
this is stressful. This
I
is
am
stressful.
at the edge of my seat. I am literally standing up. You can't see it, but I'm standing up.
Badlove has so much information right now that he exactly knows all 5 players are in the B corridor, and now he's gonna execute them one by one. The Odin goes ham. But at this point, I would probably have preferred an area smoker, a 1-for-1 trade over there. Rio is gonna fall back, load his big magazine to full HP.
Oh, beautiful quick scope.
Pixel gets chained. It's almost
happening.
Time, ladies
It's
and
over.
gentlemen.
Oh, it's on the cards.
Finally finds Pixel. It's Rio, and he's prepared. He goes for free fireman. Bullet actually finds Rio, and now it's a 1v2. What can they potentially do? Bullet, his position has been revealed, and he's in boathouse. Badlove dashes in. He's exchanged his operator for a vandal. No utility for Bullet yet.
Don't push. Just wait. Get the spike. Why are you here? You know he's in the back of sight. He's getting isolated 1v1s. Don't go in for this. This is gonna be a horrible situation. You don't need to peek anymore. 20 seconds left. Just let it go. Let it go. The spike.
14 seconds on the clock, and now he needs to push. Darlington wins it out. Team Reckoning make an overtime statement. 11 and 1 to 12. What a round, what a half it has been. What?
No way. I know my voice sounds really awkward because I'm actually standing up and I've moved away from my computer. But oh my god, as soon as I saw them giving away those isolated 1v1s, I was like, no, Reckoning, this is not how you throw this round. This is not how you give away this game. That was way too close. Deadly, he hit an incredible shot. That shot is really hard to hit, Salty. I have no clue if you know how difficult that shot was to hit. That was a full-on wide swing. Bullet has all of the advantages, but Deadly was able to react in time and get the perfect micro just because of his raw mechanical skill. This
Dude.
round could have easily gone in the favor of Team Valor. But
Dude,
still, the
yeah,
overtime came in.
I understand I might be a silver, but I understand if shots are difficult or not. Alright, jokes apart, 12-12. Oh my god, poor Aldron has been completely pulled in, sucked in by the gravity well.
Right here.
This is where things are very even, Stevens. There's no economy in play right now. It's just your guns. It's just your utility. There would be no ultimate so far. JN has invested in that operator. And right now, my hands are shivering because I have no idea who's going to win this. You've got that presence towards B. You've got the train that's actually traveling towards B as well. So the spike is traveling there, but the KO is still holding back. And now he's going to regroup. This can be executed, but does Team Reckoning, or rather can Team Reckoning exploit the openings? We've seen them, they're not really special in their attacks, right? But at least they're taking the sting out of it. They're trying to run down the clock. It's 41 seconds on right now, so they gotta move quick. Shot does come through Team Valor, just want to hold on. They've got that read, they've got those two players inside. The operator shot really missing. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Bullet really trying to survive. A lot of these kills go down. Bad Love takes down Bullet. And now it's a 4v2. Pasha Sahil on the backstab coming in from mid-market.
Your attacking half of overtime?
Dude, JN is at 8
Dude,
HP.
there's no way they come back from this. You know for a fact if they get the attacking half of this overtime, it's over. The defensive side for Reckoning is just way too strong to break into.
Lock in sight.
Some information at least. Pasha Sahil gets taken down. JN trades him out with Rio. He's gonna peek out. He's on Bad Love. It's a 1v2. His position has been revealed. 8 HP still.
That doesn't work in this save. Oh, he's dead.
Oh
12
my
and 13.
god. Deadly 10. Team Reckoning.
Inside.
This is exactly what they needed to do right at the start of the game. This game shouldn't have lasted this long. Their defensive prowess, I said it right, even if they had managed themselves to hold off at like probably 8-4 against Valor, they could have won this thing right then and there. But it wasn't 11-1, but still from that position, they managed to hold on and momentum is completely in their favor. If you look at the timeline, it's all green. There's just one single round which Team Valor could actually win.
This is the thing here. Team Valor, they are not playing it badly. It's just that Reckoning, they're able to answer back blow for blow in multiple different occasions. They're trying to go in for team play coordination. They are doing the things that they did before. It all worked out for them, but now it's just not bringing them any form of success. It's like Reckoning, they have all of the momentum for themselves. They're gonna be able to go in for a hold. Rio is gonna be good for that first initial, but still Bad Love on the back of side. He's such a menace. He needs to worry about multiple different players. Bad Love is gonna be good for another. Bad Love's looking for one more. One from the side, one from the left. He's gonna be able to take another swing fight. He's probably gonna be able to shut it all down. But Hooks, he's gonna be able to switch everything else through at the bare minimum. Bad Love, he did his job, and it's now all up to his teammates to try and bring this one back. Hooks is gonna be able to pick up the spike. He needs to go in for a push soon enough. He's gonna try to take that fight, but it's not gonna be good enough. Instead, it's gonna be Reckoning coming back from a 11-1 scoreline to take a win of Ascent. It's
Look
a
at
2-0
them
for the
hugging
entire
Deadly 10. Look at the joy in the boot camp, dude. This is insane.
You just did not do this. You just did not do this.
Man, oh man, oh man, what a game it has been. What a game it has been so far. See, I trusted my instincts in saying that you shouldn't really count out Reckoning yet, but I had no clue that this team actually has the balls to actually pull this off. Hats off.
I literally said was like, okay, they're gonna go over to the next map. It's completely fine. There's no way they win this. The caster's curse was like, what you say to me, you little? The caster's curse is like, yep. I'm coming for you, but what else is gonna be coming for you, ladies and gentlemen? is the match highlights. Let's roll that on because there's a lot of highlights we need to talk about. There's a lot of things we need to break down because this entire game was a roller coaster of emotions, and we need to try and break things down from a perspective where you can finally calm down and look at all of the different plays that did happen. Because personally, we were just on the heat of the moment. We had no time to actually talk about the strategies being employed by both of the teams
Yeah.
and talk about the strategies that Reckoning were pulling off that allowed them to go in for such a massive comeback. Yes, Ascent is a very defense favored map, but that's also another one of the many problems that we're going to be facing with KO. The KO is a very strong pickup on the map of Ascent on the defensive side, but when you're on attack,
Yes.
it requires a completely different play style. And the thing is, both of these teams, they struggled for that. They had no way of even taking control of the map through the KO because their executions purely relied on them rushing through onto a sideline. But the thing with the flashes is that the flashes can take control, but your team needs to know how to push with it. And in
Yeah.
multiple different occasions, Team Valor, they just knew the angles they needed to hold to dodge out all of the KO flashes. The one-dimensional approach just brought them down on multiple different occasions because every single time I saw Team Valor going in for a push, or even Reckoning Esports going in for a push, they all push from one specific angle. No pincer strategies, no nothing, no form of mid control being established. And even when mid control was established, it was just only one player going down there. Everyone else wanted to push from B main, everyone else wanted to push from A main, and that's it. The
Dude,
KO's not going to be able to find any form of value on the attacking side unless you go in for a much more of a split approach. That's where the KO is really good at. You can overwhelm your opposition from multiple different sidelines and they don't have the utility to stop you. But if you all push from one single side, they can just all spray you down just looking at one specific corner.
yeah, exactly. And also the fragment and the knives are sort of utility which probably add KO as a pseudo sentinel as well, right? You call Viper a pseudo sentinel. I think the KO also has a potential to kind of stop pushes into a side. The fact that you have utility like a fragment and a knife point, which can disable utility usage, which can stop you dead on your tracks. That's enough stoppage utility that you have. That's enough preventive utility that you should need. And just like you mentioned, I feel like KO is a very defensive pick, but the flashes aren't really the best. They are
Yeah.
good flashes for you as a defender. You can try and use the flash to maybe peek out at a very tight angle, but as an attacker, it's just way too much real estate that you are trying to give in, which you're trying to control with just one single pop flash. It's not just going to work like that. With the breach, with the sky, you can actually pinpoint every single angle which is going to be flashed, right? And those flashes can actually cover up an entire site. But with the KO, that's simply not possible. You might have lineups, but even then, the fact the probability that your opponent is going to dodge it and he's going to survive it is huge, and that just does not give you enough control to move into a side, and that is one of the reasons why teams struggle with attack. But I mean, if you look at the way the teams employ their attacking strategies, to be honest, I'm gonna be blatantly true, all right? It kind of felt like Reckoning just want to finish off their attacking rounds and get started with their defense as quickly as possible. I think they had that gut feeling in them that even if we lose their attacking half, we are gonna dominate defense because we are so strong defensively. I kind of felt like they were just pushing and pushing and pushing and didn't really want to trouble the scorers, didn't really want to trouble Team Valor as well. They wanted to get away with the first half as soon as possible.
The thing is, like, why would you ever play like that? Because, yeah, against Valor, it may have worked out, but can you even say the same for the other teams in this entire tournament to play the map of Ascent like that? That they need to go in for a full playstyle change if this is what they're going for. Yeah, it worked here, and I'm being kind of harsh, but Salty, in the Gauntlet, everyone's watching these matches. They're gonna go in
Yeah.
for VOD reviews. They're gonna break down your strategies piece by piece, and they're gonna go in for an anti-strat. And
The
I
thing
personally
is,
believe that Team Valor were gonna be the ones to take this one away because they had such a massive buffer. But even with the buffer, they did not figure out how to use this KO on the side of attack. The thing with KO is that when you use this utility, you need to go in from multiple different sidelines, and the fact they didn't go for any of that throughout the entire game just caused even more problems.
like I saw an Ascent game last day as well, And you wouldn't believe there was only one attacking round which was won by the attacking team, right? There was a similar situation happening there as well. It was 11-1, but unlike what a Reckoning pulled off in this one, winning back-to-back rounds on their defensive half of things, not giving away anything, the other team, even though they did win a couple of defensive rounds, they probably went from like 11-1 to 11-7 or something like that, and then the match was actually taken back by winning back-to-back rounds. So it's sort of understandable that Ascent is a very defensive oriented map right now. According to the current meta, it's very hard to actually break forth these defenses, but it's just not that. I kind of feel like Team Reckoning, the way they actually stepped up to the occasion, the way they got their communications right, they didn't break down in terms of, mindset. It just speaks volume of how strong this team actually is and how strong their basic fundamentals are.
It's just an incredible feat between both of these teams. The thing is, Team Valor, they just dropped the ball so massively that I'm really hoping they don't get demoralized by all of it. It was a tough fight. They nearly brought it all back, but weird. Sorry, Reckoning. They were the better team.
Like I felt like Team Valor sort of did something in their attack which Team Reckoning couldn't do, and which actually worked out in overtime, was to take the sting out of the attack. We'll talk about that a little later because right now we have the scoreboard. Of course, a single overtime game, Reckoning Esports winning both of them, and Team Valor. A very hard fought victory. Pasha Sahil was an absolute madness. The man was top fragging for almost the entirety of the affair when before Bad Love actually outshined him. 26 frags for this man, 270 ACS, econ rating of 70, Smoker, Rio, Deadly 10, and Pixels with 19, 13, 16, and 14 kills each. They've been monumental in Reckoning winning this round. I feel like every single player, they had their moments. Every single player played as a unit. And that is one of the reasons why Reckoning can actually stick together. Their coordination was pristine. Team Valor, of course, they've got 22 frags, they've got 18, 19, 15, and 14 respectively, but even that doesn't help them. On paper, it kind of looks like maybe Team Valor have more kills to work with, but then at the end of it all, it just doesn't matter because Reckoning got them when it actually mattered, and they got themselves rounds to work with. Again, coming back to the same point that I was making about what Team Valor did was take the sting out of the attack. They kind of paused themselves for a bit. They tried to run down the clock, try to get more real estate to work with. They made sure they kind of try and ventured out mid. They made sure they ventured out short. They made sure they ventured out main as well. And there was presence everywhere. And why I say that Reckoning played as a unit, because every single duel their teammates participated in, all of them were able to win as a cohesive unit. It wasn't like only one player is performing and he needs to cover every single entry point. No, all of these 5 players, they were so good and they were so working in tandem with each other that they had no freaking problems in to block every single facet of entry for Team Valor, and that is what they did.
They just had so much more control. 13 and 11 for map number, and a 14 and 12 from an 11-1 scoreline. That's gonna be one for the books.
2-0 just doesn't do justice, does it? I mean,
No, it
the
just
game was so
doesn't.
close. I feel like Valor should get what they deserve. I mean, they should get this 1 point, but I mean, yeah, it's not the rules. But look at the score
It's
line,
the
13,
better,
11,
it's the
14.
better
It's,
team here.
yeah, exactly.
You have no way to sugarcoat this. Like Valor, they tried. Like honestly speaking, they tried their hearts out. They were
Absolutely,
playing
absolutely.
to the point of no return. The thing is that Valor, they didn't throw any of these rounds. They were playing. They were trying their hardest, but the strategical aspect was just missing in so many different occasions. The confidence factor was a lot more higher on the side of Reckoning. It just all broke apart from there, and it's just hard. You cannot bring yourself back from something like this. Let's head on down over towards the group standings to see how the team, sorry, are going to be moving up and down here. Because at this stage, Salty, with Reckoning being able to take such a solid 2-0 for themselves, with Valor taking a pretty massive loss of their own.
Exactly. I mean, this was the
Near
second
1
loss for
point.
them, and that's kind of like what you don't expect from the side of Team Valor, right? I kind of think they should be at 1 point right now because
Yeah, I think
they
so.
had 1 point from the first loss, and this match they shouldn't be getting any points so far. So anyway, it just doesn't matter. It's just a mistake on the graphic. But Reckoning Esports is the first victory for them to start things off, and I feel this has been a very good start for them. Even though the match was close, the fact that they won such a close contested affair, Reckoning Esports, this would do a massive boost to their confidence, because just like we mentioned at the pre-show, they didn't really have a very good start, or rather a very good end to season 3 as well of the gauntlet. So I guess this start can give them a lot more confidence boost, and they can perform to the best of their potential.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they're gonna be able to come on back from it. The start of the Gauntlet Season 4 for Team Valor haven't been the best but for Reckoning, they're gonna come back right off the get-go. They are the team that we have witnessed take the first initial overtime for this entire season. And I'm really hoping we're gonna be seeing a lot more. Sadly, ladies and gentlemen, this is all that we have for you for today, for the Gauntlet at least. We still have a lot more streams to go, a lot more matches to be played here on the Esports Club. So make sure to hit that like, hit the subscribe, and also hit that notification bell to get notified when we do go live. And you're going to be down there, hit that show description button, check out Crucial, check out 656 if you want to get yourself a jersey. We're not going to be wearing it today. It's a little bit cold here, and I needed to wear this blazer, and we got to look good for the camera. I'm thankful that we did, because this game was an absolute banger. But we're going to be back with you tomorrow with a lot more action with the LG Ultragear TC Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial, with our apparel partners being 656. See you soon, everyone, and happy gaming.
One, two, three, let's go.